What's up, good people? What's up, good people? We are back in the building for another one. Come on in. I got to stay out the comment section already. Come on in, hit the like button. Whether you're catching it live or you're catching it after it's uploaded, make sure you hit the like button. We're about to get this thing started. Y'all know how we do. Every Saturday we have Hood Assertive in the building. I just sent him the link. Just sent you. Oh, didn't realize it was. Okay, thought I saw some police brutality playing in the background. Okay, tiki torches, all kind of junk going on back there, huh? All right. Anyway. Sometimes I don't know what's playing in behind me. I'll be watching something and then it just go to the next video and then I start doing the show and yeah, we get what we get. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Let me cue up the intro as we get ready to go for another wonderful legendary Saturday show here. Another wonderful legendary Saturday show. You know how we do. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What is up? What's going on, good people? Welcome everybody to the show. Welcome everybody to the show. Appreciate each and every one of you being in the building. Shout out to the early bird squads, those that make it in bright and early before we even get things started. Shout out to RM in the building. Y'all know as he always say, on the way in the building, hit the like button. Definitely get the likes up. That lets the algorithm, the algae rhythm, know that you're here, know that you're in the building. SKC, the card carrying coon, the social injustice warrior himself, says he may want in on this one. All right, I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. SKC, Lando Calrissian in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. He said it's going to be another good one. Yeah, we be having classics on these Saturday shows. No doubt. Trail Bentley in the building. Hood Conservative, of course, is on the building. See him down in the back. About to bring him up momentarily. Free Zone Lou, shout out to you. Says salute Hood BR in chat. Let's get it. This will be good. I don't know what your autocorrect thought you was trying to say. If they put will and LOL, be good. I don't know what your autocorrect was going through this morning. But shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to Deacon A. Shout out to TD Hutch. Shout out to Trader NBD. Shout out Snuggles in the building. I ain't even paying attention. John Morant is a beast. He's He's essentially, hopefully we get with him what we would have got from D Rose had D Rose never got injured. But all right. So without further ado, let's bring up the hood conservative in the building. What is going on? What's going on?
Morning. Thanks for having me up, man. Another
Yeah. Oh,
another
you
Saturday show.
sound you ain't up yet. You sound tired.
Nah. I like just kind of rolled out of bed 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. No, I feel you. But yeah, you sounded not quite with us, but that's all right. We'll slow crawl into it. We'll slow crawl.
I'll work my way into it, man. I'll get there.
Yeah, cool. No problem. But we got two topics technically on the table. The first one is one you sent me that I didn't know that much about until I finally opened my email, like, about 9 a.m. and I saw what you was throwing out there. And so I'll still let you get into that, and we'll kick that one around before we get into the other topic that's in the thumbnail and in the title. And I noticed
Well, let
Dennis
me just say
Sperling.
this though. Let me
Yeah.
just say this because I would have sent you the topic that you picked for today. I would have actually sent that to you as a suggestion, but I just did it last night on my show, so I kind
So
of I didn't want to just sort of refeed it to you.
Did you cover Roland Martin's response and everything?
I didn't know he even got in the game. I would have loved to cover. I hate
Okay,
Roland
so
Martin
that's
too.
so yeah, so he dropped a whole video on it. So we'll sort of just react to his, so that it will just, I guess, piggyback on what you did last night instead of just rehashing it, because he came at it from a whole different angle, and when he painted a whole different narrative on the whole thing. So I mean, it's interesting. So we'll look at his perspective on that. So before we dive all the way into that, let's set up to me, like, what's going on. Like, this is something I never thought about, that I don't care that much about, but it's I guess it's interesting. I know Dennis Sperling posted something on his community tab about it, about Black women and the whole business of sperm donation. There's like
Boy, the article I sent you, it actually is. If you pull up the article, it has a function where you can just it'll audio play for you, so you don't have to read on your own. Because I'm lazy like that, and I listened to the article. It is so hilarious, bro. They had the nerve. They had the gosh. I'm trying to be better and not swear so much, but like the nerve. At a certain point in this article, complaining that basically there aren't enough black male sperm donors, right? So that means there are black women who are one sort of forced to like compete a little bit, maybe is the right word to put out there. They have to work harder to get their choice selection of black male skeet, and the lack of male donors, it's creating a problem for the women, at least according to this article. And twice, I only got through the article because it's about an 18-minute long like clip. If I let the audio play by itself, it took 18 minutes, and I only got through 9 of it. But twice during that 9 minutes, they had the nerve to say black men just don't realize. Like, one of the reasons why there aren't so many sperm donors is that black men don't realize how valuable and necessary they are to creating a strong black family. Boy, bro, I wanted to fight. I wanted to fight. I was like, no, put these bitches in front of me. I want to fight.
You see, I didn't realize you sent me 2 links. They was like, okay, when you send, well, they were like stacked on top of each other. I saw like a Twitter post, and I was like, I thought that was all you sent me. I didn't see this, so this is new to me.
No, it's the same link. If you open up the Twitter link, it'll send you to a Washington Post article, and then you have to click the article.
Oh, okay, all right, I see now. Okay, I see. I'm looking at it right now, and so I got. All right, so I got the Washington Post article up. Wow. So I'll try to, yeah, we'll play that.
Yeah, once it gets fully loaded up, it'll give you an option to just listen to the audio, and that works way better for the YouTube format because who wants to do all this reading?
All right, let's see. Hold up. All right. Think I got it up, and I think this is it right here. Why do so few black men donate sperm? A Post reporter spent months finding out, and it's like a little 25-minute audio right
Yeah,
here.
that's it. Just
All
hit
right,
play,
so
and you
hit
should
play
be in it.
ball, and we should be playing. All right, okay. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, Liz, stop me whenever you need me to stop it on this. But all right.
Go.
This podcast is supported by IBM. As the cost of a data breach reaches $4.35 million, cybercrime is impacting business, the economy, and society at large. Learn more from IBM at washingtonpost.com/IBM-cyberthreats-ad.
Hey, it's Martine. Before we start today's show, I just want to talk to you about subscriptions. On Post Reports, we bring you stories from across the country and around the world.
Is there a fast forward button on there? They don't give you an option to
Affecting all
skip
of our
ahead.
lives. And the
Yes.
work
How
we
far do I
do
need to
is
skip?
ambitious.
Just a few
you're kind of
seconds,
just figuring out if you like this person and if you want
Someone in your life that could use this kind of valuable reporting. Check out our latest subscription deal at postreports.com/offer.
All right, here we go.
To me, in my head, it's kind of like dating a little bit. Like you're literally sitting down and you're kind of just figuring out if you like this person and if you want this to be potentially the other half of your child.
Your baby daddy. This how they hunt for their baby daddy now.
She's 29 years old, and she's a black lesbian living in Newark, Delaware. Reese has been so ready to be a parent for so long. And she
hold on,
says,
pause. This is actually different than what I played last night. This is almost like some kind of documentary excerpt. What I had on my what I did on my show, I don't know. There was a button somewhere that was like just reading the text of the article itself. I mean, it's probably the same deal. It's probably the same exact deal, but it's just not how I remembered it. But continue.
Okay.
Dating is hard. Imagine spending hundreds of hours on top of a regular full-time job searching sperm banks. That's what Reese did because she wanted to find the right sperm donor, a black sperm donor.
Initially, when I started searching for a donor for my daughter, I chose any for the ID category. The height was any. I did choose black at first. I chose an African American donor at first. And the hair color was any, the eye color was any, the education was graduate. And I received about 3 that popped up on the search, and I didn't like any of the donors. But compared to if he was of another race, you would have a lot more pages and pages of options.
You see, Reese wasn't being especially picky. There just aren't a lot of options for people looking for a black sperm donor.
Less than 2% of sperm donors in the U.S. are black.
Amber Ferguson is a senior video editor for The Post. By connecting with Reese and dozens...
I'm curious. One of my questions, because, okay, black men are 13% of the population, but only 2% of the sperm donors. I'm just curious, like, what's the exact motivation for a man donating sperm?
Money.
This is all new to me. I don't think about this that much, but I'm just saying, like, what's the motivation there?
The same as donating blood. They give you like $30 and a cookie.
Okay, so that's what I thought. That's honestly what I thought. So in my mind, I was thinking that just like, I mean, we've seen, we saw in Pursuit of Happiness, he was donating blood to get a little bit of money.
Right.
When he was broke, and they probably didn't show it, but I'm pretty sure he skeeted in a cup a couple times to get a little bit of money for him and his son. So
I mean, Bernard, would that be in your autobiography? Or are you going to leave that part out?
Oh no, I understand. That's why he left that part out. Well, hold on, wait. You saying no, Bernard? Black men are 6% of the population, but yeah, still 12 to 13% of the male population. So, yeah, women don't donate sperm, so we might as well just go with 13. Go with the standard 13% of the population. So yeah, so there's that. But So it's still staggering or underrepresentation, as they say. In the sperm, I'm just curious. I mean, I know it's enough jobless, broke Negroes out there to where I thought they would be, if anything, either their population percentage or overrepresented when it comes to donating sperm. Like, I mean, you could go jack off, you could go do something you're doing anyway to get
Well,
you're jacking off anyway. You might as well go do it in a cup and get $30. I'm just I was looking.
No, I don't know if they're going to cover this in this particular piece because, like I said, it's a little different from what I pulled up. But at a certain point in the article I was reading, the girl that they were featuring at the moment said she had her friend, after she couldn't find what she wanted on the open market, she had her friend, hook her up the old-fashioned way or whatever. I don't know how that worked. Maybe if it was an actual insemination or he just gave her a cup. I don't know, but she got pregnant and she lost the baby, and then she couldn't get him to do it again because he was in a relationship at that point and he thought it'd be kind of weird. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I want to find exactly what you covered, but I mean exactly the one that you looked at, but all right, we'll roll it. We'll see what happens here. Because as you said, the one you looked at was 18 minutes long.
It was an actual article, not like this is more like some kind of the audio from a documentary, basically. But hold on, let me see.
Yeah, if you could pull it up.
I'm gonna email it up. All right. I'll probably just pull up my other account. I'm gonna come back in the back chat again on my laptop.
All right, yeah, we'll do that because the major zinger in this, the thing that's just the part that's blowing me away, is that in the midst of this, it was said on more than 2 occasions in the first 9 minutes that black men don't understand the importance of starting strong black families, and this is being said by women who are fishing for sperm at a sperm bank. The level of irony and just outright ridiculousness of that. Yeah, I do need to hear that. I do need to hear that was actually said. I do need to hear that was actually said. But Wizard Kelly, for those of that's genius. That's genius. That's Wizard Kelly was from the Proud Family. That was that's funny as hell. That's funny as hell that's your YouTube name. But shout out, he says, destroying more sons than calling us failures. Aha. Very, very well said, Wizard Kelly. Very, very, very well said, Wizard Kelly. But all right. So it's on you now. It's on you. Wait, are you there?
This news story was written by Amber Ferguson. America has a black sperm donor shortage.
Yeah, you dropped me.
Black
Keep both
women
the
are
windows
paying the
up.
price. Black men account for fewer than 2% of sperm donors at cryobanks. Their vials are gone in minutes. Newark, Delaware. Every night a little after 1 a.m., following her shift as a guard at a women's prison, Reese Brooks would open her laptop, a second laptop, then her phone and a tablet, and begin scouring websites for sperm banks, opening dozens of tabs. The websites offered hundreds of potential sperm donors, allowing Brooks to select for movie star looks, height and hobbies, but when she filtered for Black or African American donors, her options swiftly dwindled. The cryobanks gave Brooks a chance at motherhood, but they couldn't provide what she wanted, a black sperm donor who could give her a child who looked like her and shared her culture. I'd say I spent 40 hours a week looking for a donor. Altogether, I think I searched more than 800 hours, Brooks said. But when it came to a black donor, she said, the choices were slim to none. Cryobanks reported that the number of black women seeking their services to conceive rose sharply.
This lesbian said she spent 40 hours a week looking for a donor. I would say this lesbian put more time in per week looking for a sperm donor than what straight black women put in per week looking for a decent black man. Just point
I don't
that
even
out.
think they're probably not even all lesbians, honestly. Like, we can make an assumption that there's a good chunk of lesbians in this because it's almost always that. But yeah, no, there's some just women who've been striking out their whole lives, and now they're up at 4 o'clock in the morning scouring sperm banks in Bangkok trying to find any black sperm around the world.
Yeah. Well, okay, the one that I was playing, it did say something about a chick being a lesbian. I don't think this one even said it, or did it?
It didn't say it, but she's a prison guard at a New Jersey correctional facility, so 60-40 lesbian.
Oh, okay. All right. Play ball.
During the pandemic after increasing steadily over the years. Black women between the ages of 35 and 45 are far more likely to remain unmarried than women from other racial groups, according to the latest census data, with 44% of non-Hispanic Black women unmarried, compared with 16% of white women. Yet Black sperm donors represent just a fraction of available supply, fewer than 2% at the country's 4 largest sperm banks, according to an analysis by the Washington Post. The severe shortage is forcing Black women who need donor sperm into a painful choice: choose a donor of another race and raise a biracial child, or try to buy sperm from unregulated apps and online groups.
See, you niggas need to step up. You forcing these women into back alley sperm deals because you don't want to do your part for the community. You got these women out here buying sperm from a dude in a trench coat. He walk up like, "Hey, I got that. What up? What up? What you need? I got Asian, I got Black, I got African, I got Nigerian, I got Igbo. Like, what's up? You got these girls up here making deals with this dude."
They buying sperm from the damn bathroom attendant at the club. Like the
And then look, it's so real. I'm like, you know what? This just opened up a new level of warfare. How about this? We should only sell our sperm to the highest paying white woman. Just cut Black women out of the sperm market anyway. Listen, you want a Black man's baby, you gotta earn that shit. Your money is no good here.
You know what? Keeping it real. If brothers who was in the sperm slinging business, you know, that 2%, if they had any business sense, they wouldn't just go down there and just donate, just put it in a cup and just hand it to the sperm bank people. They would start their own website. God damn it. Given the numbers and the scarcity of Black sperm donation, bitch, I'm the prize. So y'all gonna have to pay top dollar for this shit. Y'all want black male sperm, and it'll, especially if you're over 6 feet tall and just halfway educated and just halfway decent looking. Oh yeah, he could sell that shit for a premium because it's rare. That's simple market supply and demand. If it's rare, he could charge top dollars. Get your website going, advertise. You'll make the money back. Like I'm all for it. Hop on that. Hop
And
right
look,
on that shit.
and if niggas really ain't shit, you know, as they say, as I've been told, then how come my sperm is in such high demand? Like everywhere you go to find Black sperm, it's like, damn, just sold out. But niggas ain't shit though.
Well, it's a scarcity though. But the other article said that when it's there on the market, it sits there. It's like it's gone within days. Like it's just instantly gone. Now, part of that, yeah, some people do want Black or Blackish babies, or you know, there's some Black women that they want a Black baby. And I do tend to believe there's other races of women who, if they are in the sperm, you know, getting a donor, that they want some Black genetics mixed in there. They want some Black genetics mixed in there. They trying to create a day walker, you know. They trying to get somebody with the best of both worlds, you know. You have all the advantages of Blackness, none of the weaknesses. They trying to create that Blade day walker. But so here's the thing though. Here's the thing though with this. Damn it, I forgot what point I was about to make, and I just got distracted by a super chat. So I'll just read the super chat, and hopefully the point will come back to me. Christian Hutchison in the building with a $5 super chat. He says, notice whenever they need normal Black men, they can't find it, but they can locate 35% of Black men with a felony, like they are buying candy corn on at Halloween. Yeah, it's an inside joke with me and candy corns. But anyway, I'm not even going to waste your time with that. But but shout out to Christian Hutchins. I do appreciate the $5 super chat. And yes, they have no problem finding finding the sketchy non-committal ones, like they just falling from the trees, or falling from the sky, or some shit. But Wizard Kelly back in the building says anything but normal by Seed, Pookie, Random, White Man, anything but normal by Seed. Pookie, Random, White Man. I think you're missing something in that sentence. But shout out to you. Do appreciate what you say. Hey, don't get me talking about candy corns. I actually like them too. I actually like them too. But there's a certain faction of people that actually hate them, and they broke out pitchforks on me when I just showed up with candy corns, and yeah, you thought I slapped somebody mama or something. But anyway, it's an inside joke, inside story. I'm not gonna bore you out with. But anyway, all right, let's get back into it. I'll remember my point later. and like,
The reasons
subscribe
for the
like,
shortage
share,
are myriad.
subscribe, support the stream. All right, go ahead.
Failure among cryobanks to recruit Black donors, a selection process that demands a 3-generation medical history, which may be challenging for Black men who may not have access to quality health care, and excludes donors with felony convictions. Mistrust of the medical profession by Black men because of a legacy of historical discrimination.
I mean, that does kind of make sense if you think about it. All the best Black skeet is either dead or in jail. Ain't that something? That's how Black women looking for sperm have the same problem. Black women looking for good men. Like, all the good men are dead or in jail. How did that happen? All the good skeet is locked up too. Like, what the hell?
This is what I gathered from that. This is what I gathered. Okay. The men, because remember I said there's a financial component to donating sperm. There's a financial component to that. And some people just be donating, like I said, Pursuit of Happiness. He was broke. We saw him standing in line to donate blood. He left out the story, the part where he stood in line to donate sperm. It was a real good joke on Def Comedy Jam a long time ago, where a guy said that he was about trying to get some money. He was broke, and it was a line to donate blood and a line to donate sperm. And to donate the blood, it was like $30. Donate the sperm, it was like $60. So he got in the sperm line, and he noticed that it was a woman standing in line in front of him to donate the sperm. And he said, "Excuse me, ma'am.
Shit.
You know you're in the wrong line." And then she turned around like, yeah, funny ass joke. I think that was TP Hearns. Funny ass joke. But
I remember that one.
Yeah. But anyway, back to donating sperm. Yeah, so when they say that the people with felonies can't donate, I was trying to think, well, okay, all the Black men that they say are broke and disenfranchised or blah 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 blah. I'm like, why it seemed like they would be beating down the doors to donate some damn sperm. However, if those that are broke or disenfranchised or whatever however they say, whatever it is, those who are in that situation, yeah, they're broke and they need to donate sperm, but they can't because they got a felony. I think that could have something to do why it isn't a barrage of an army of of broke Black men storming the sperm banks like Helm's Deep. Like so that could explain that to some degree, but that 2% is still pretty damn low. 2% is still pretty damn low. But I do like your take on that too. You're saying that they all the good sperm is dead or in jail. Like they're gonna blame mass incarceration. Here we go. Mass incarceration is why Black women who want to strong independent, don't need no man to start a family, can't get a family going. But all right, go ahead, play ball.
Nah, you might see this on like Joy Reid or Tiffany Cross one of these days. They're gonna do that segment on how the white man is oppressing all the good Black sperm and is keeping it away from the Black women who are desperately trying to start families. Like, I'm telling you, that's gonna be a legit story one day. I mean, it's already a legit story in the Washington Post. Now it's gonna get bigger.
Yeah.
The search for donor sperm usually takes place on a cryobank website where someone can browse profiles of available donors with limited personal and genetic information. Baby pictures of donors may be available for an additional fee. On average,
Hold up. You mean to tell me there is a building somewhere, there is a place somewhere in this country with just jars of skeet with niggas' baby pictures on the jar? This is my baby jar right here. This is, this is the babies I'm gonna make. And the women get to like scroll through the baby pictures like, that looks like an interesting possibility. Oh my God.
That is wild.
Yo, yo, women have a lot of burdens in their life, man.
That is wild. They looking
sperm
at
is sold for
they sitting there
950.
looking at
I'm
sperm.
sorry.
They sitting there looking at sperm and looking at the pictures, and it's funny because in my mind, just one of the pictures gonna look like that Lil Wayne album cover where he with the tattoos on the baby's face.
Yo, I know there's a jar. There's a jar with that picture on it somewhere. They gotta be little criminal baby. Got like 3 tattooed teardrops. He got like Spanish words written on his foreheads and shit. Somehow he's in the Spanish gang already. Like, who knows, bro? It's a baby out there somewhere like that. I know it is. It gotta be. And I bet you that skeet is in high demand.
Oh yeah.
That's the jar that always empty for some reason.
All right, go ahead, play ball.
$1,300 per vial. Donors receive $70 to $150 per donation. The cryobanks sell a fixed number of vials per donor to limit the number of children fathered by any one donor. There are more than 20 cryobanks in the country, 4 of which have more than 100 donors. Among the 4, California Cryobank, Fairfax Cryobank, Seattle Sperm Bank, and Zytex, supply fluctuates, but as of October 11th, there were only 12 black donors out of a total of 748. White and Asian donors are disproportionately represented, while Hispanic donors are also underrepresented. Of 15 women who talked to the Post, only 1 was able to buy sperm and conceive a child with a black donor.
Push pause real
The
quick.
black women detailed fierce competition.
What do you think about this crazy concept that just popped in my head? Should somebody like LeBron James, for the sake of let's just take LeBron James and even black men with some exceptional intelligence. I'll use LeBron James as he's a genetic freak athletically. And actually, unbeknownst to many people, the average IQ for an NBA player is actually a standard deviation above the national average. It's like the average IQ for an NBA player is 115. It's some idiots out there, but then but a lot of professional athletes are smart. We just the idiots are loud. Okay, anyway, that's a whole nother story. So anyway, LeBron is dumb on social justice topics and all of that and BLM and all that stuff. But he's probably a real intelligent guy in other aspects and other areas of his life. But anyway, what do you just think about this concept? And I think it was one of the rich billionaire white guys said something like this, that he's going to have a lot of kids because he thinks smarter people need to.
Elon.
That was Elon Musk.
Yeah, Elon.
Yeah. He's basically saying smarter people need to step up, do their part, and produce more babies. Intelligence is genetic.
That was also part of the opening scene from Idiocracy. How it just the smart people there was the typical smart couple, and they were just logically avoiding children because it didn't make sense at this moment. We got to get this right and we got to get that right. Meanwhile, you had the poor couple who was basically supported by the system, and they're just popping out babies left and right. And so that's the dynamic Elon is trying to avoid.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, with the LeBron James of the world, the black people that truly got superior genetics, do you think they should have a civic, cultural, or racial duty to just donate a bunch of sperm and reproduce to help seed the next generation? Just donate a bunch of sperm. No, that's bad idea. So
the spirit is right. The spirit is right. The implementation is wildly irresponsible. At best, I would support a loose polygamy, where LeBron, and you know, we're spitballing here. I don't really support this, but this is a deal that could work, I imagine. LeBron, because it has worked since forever, right? You can have your wife, and then you can have your army of bastards, and you can support them and raise them well. So now you have essentially the strongest tribe in the nation because you got your legit family and you got your wealthy, middle class, educated bastards who are down with the team.
Gotcha. Understood. So you're saying these kids would turn out just as bad if they were just sent to random women to randomly fuck up.
Right. Like it's like giving a bum a bag of money. Like, you really think he's gonna be a millionaire now just because you gave him a bag of money? Like, you really think she's gonna raise LeBron because LeBron gave her a bag of skeet?
Fair enough. Okay. I was just thinking how, rather we're talking about LeBron, or I'm just assuming Robert Smith is a genius with an extremely high IQ. How could they them and other black men like them in a large scale way just mass produce themselves for the next generation? I was just spitballing a way that could happen, since we're going down this rabbit hole of sperm donation. I was just thinking out loud. But anyway,
I think the mass production is where you fall short. It can't be mass produced. Every child is an individual creation of art.
Okay, that was the most heartfelt, poetic thing you ever said. But all right, cool.
Yeah, conservative love the kids, man.
Okay, well, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. All right, let me get to this. Hoop Jargon Media Network in the building. Shout out to Hoop Jargon. Make sure y'all go subscribe and check the brother out if you're not subscribed to him already. Says, to be fair, LeBron mom was effed up. Look it up. Was it F up? Oh yeah, no doubt. And also, Trist Thompson, high value donor. Black men need to work 60 hours a week to be a donor. No, it only take 3 minutes to donate sperm. I heard. All right, play ball.
Well, no, but that's the sperm they're looking for, right? They don't just want any old nigga. I mean, unless, you know, you down to the end, you've been searching all night, you're gonna take the nigga who just skeeted for some money. That's probably what they complaining about. Honestly, only Pookies are left. All the good high value sperm is taken on the regular dating market.
Yeah.
And on cryobank websites for vials from black donors, which, they say, typically sell out within minutes. Angela Stepancic, a DC educator, recalled putting vials of sperm from a black donor into her online shopping cart only to get beaten out by a sorority sister she was on the phone with who was faster to check out. Stepancic had a mixed-race child use.
Yo, so they were on the phone together, racing to buy the sperm. Could you imagine that?
That she gonna be looking at that kid like, you never.
She better not let her babysit. Never let her babysit. She's always gonna hate your kid. Little nigga was supposed to be mine.
Yeah.
It's gonna be biblical. Yo, wait, it gets so. Yo, I told you, I only made it through 9 minutes because I pulled this up at the end of my show, and I should have done it earlier, but it was just too much, and I got through 9 minutes of it. And something is going to come up in a second that blew me away. Just you'll see. I couldn't believe the levels of insanity that we're dealing with.
Sperm from a Latino donor. At California Cryobank, the waiting list for an in-demand white donor is generally 3 months, according to Jamie Shamanki, the chief medical officer. The wait for a black donor there can stretch as long as 18 months. And women in their late 30s and 40s, who are facing diminishing fertility due to age, simply can't wait. You know that if you get what you need, that means another sister won't get what she needs if she wants a black donor, too. I'm crying, fasting, praying and believing for a donor, author Candace Benbow, 40, said. I know she's doing the same, but I need to buy as much as I can, pay my storage fee, and do what I need to do. You know that if you get what you need, that means another.
Yo, they gotta pay storage fees. Hold up. Yo. Hey. They gotta keep that shit on ice, bro.
Hold on, wait, explain that, because I was doing some stuff in the back. What happened there? What's the deal?
Well, she said I'm gonna read the quote. Candace Benbow, 40, said, I know she's doing the same, but I need to buy as much as I can pay my storage fee and do what I need to do. Like, yo, how much ski are you buying? Like, did you need one of those big, like, igloo thermoses or something like that? Like one of those workplace construction site thermoses? Like, what are you putting the skeet in? Like, what is your storage system here?
I'm confused as to why any of it has to be stored. I mean, you buy it, then use it. Why has she got to buy it and store it? What's going on with that?
Dude, I don't know. Maybe if the first shot doesn't take, you get to come back the next night and get another shot. Like, I don't know, but like, could you imagine like I don't know, let's just say you having company or something, like neighbors come over for a second and they open up your fridge and they see this giant white canister.
Yeah.
No, you should pay offsite. You should pay for offsite storage. That's an awkward conversation around the dinner table.
Yeah. Yeah, all day.
Sister won't get what she needs if she wants a black donor, too. I'm crying, fasting, praying, and believing for a donor. Black women are predispositioned to other fertility hurdles. They face higher risks in conceiving and carrying a child. They are more likely to suffer uterine fibroids and other conditions that can compromise fertility, and 3 times more likely than white women to die of a pregnancy-related cause. And yet they are less likely to be referred to specialists than white women, said Michael Thomas, president-elect of the American Society of Reproductive Medicine. One of the biggest problems that we face as fertility doctors is not getting those patients in sooner. And we see the gynecologists sometimes dragging their feet in those referrals because they just assume that these patients are going to get pregnant on their own, Thomas said. Some may believe, inaccurately, that black women are hyperfertile, he explained. The women all said they love their kids, but they regret their lack of options. When you are in this position, sometimes you have to take what you can get, said Sandra Wiley, a caseworker in Chicago who had a daughter and a set of twins using sperm from a donor of Indian origin. By February 2021, Reese Brooks had spent months on an increasingly desperate effort to conceive a child with sperm from a black donor when she drove 2.5 hours from her apartment in Newark, Delaware, to Fairfax Cryobank in Northern Virginia and picked up a 10-pound cryotank containing 2 vials.
Oh yeah, all right. This part right here blew me away. I'm gonna run this back a few seconds because just think about the levels that, just how low your life is at every step of the way. Every step of the journey, your life has just decreased in quality and value.
By February 2021, Reese Brooks had spent months on an increasingly desperate effort to conceive a child with sperm from a black donor when she drove 2.5 hours from her apartment in Newark, Delaware, to Fairfax Cryobank in Northern Virginia and picked up a 10-pound cryotank containing 2 vials of sperm from a 5'10" Peruvian man who practices MMA fighting.
Yo, she drove from Newark. So shout out to all the hoes in Newark. She drove from Newark to Virginia to pick up a 10-pound cryo tank with 2 vials of skeet from a 5-foot Peruvian MMA fighter. Bro, this is your life story. This is some woman's life story from a Peruvian MMA fighter, though. Like, your plug, your connect for Black Skeet is a Peruvian MMA fighter. How the fuck did we get here?
All I'm saying is this: other than the fact that if this is some full-blown butch lesbian type chick, other than that, I'm pretty sure there's a 5'10" nigga who no karate or bare minimum just know how to fight. If that's the standard, there's some nigga out there who 5'10" and know how to fight, who like getting his dick sucked in hot plates of food. That that probably would have been, willing to start a family with you if you wouldn't fucked up. I'm just like, damn. It's like so that's where I'm at with it. Like, she's going back to the original statement where they're saying something, putting in 40 hours a week to find the right donor. That amount of time and effort put into finding a decent man, and you would have been able to have a kid, but an actual family. If the only criteria is darker skin, 5'10", and know how to fight, like, that's all she know about this dude. She wants his sperm. I'm like that. Like that guy is in abundance. The average height is 5'10". Like, you can find that dude somewhere if that's all the standard is. It's just like that's just some weird shit to me. That's just some weird shit to me that you working that hard just to get the semen, but you could suck a dick and fix a plate and get the same thing without having to do all that work, and the kid actually got a dad. It's like, it's just weird. But a story. Hold on, real quick. Story to tell in the building. He says the sad part is, how do they really know what they paying for? Facts. They could pay for LeBron and get Danny DeVito. Yes, absolutely. You do not know who skeeted in that cup. I don't care who baby picture they put on the cup. You don't know who skeeted in it. But go ahead.
No, I was just thinking about what Biggie say. Listen, all you gotta do is suck a good dick and hook a steak up.
Yeah.
It's not that hard, but whatever. Now you out here in a back alley somewhere in Virginia trying to buy sperm from a Peruvian wrestler. Dude, this is like a movie. It's like one of those Cheech and Chong movies or something. Two black girls, Thelma and Louise, going on an adventure trying to buy skeet. This is going to be a movie one day, I'm telling you.
After spending $8,000 on 3 failed insemination procedures with sperm from a cryobank, Brooks had conceived in 2019 using sperm from a close friend who was black.
Now, this is the part that kills me. She blew $8,000 on 3 failed insemination procedures, right? How much money you think she gave her black homeboy to knock her up?
She probably sucked a dick and made a plate one time.
and might not even have done that. She was just like, here, hurry up, get it over with, nigga. And then, dudes just be like, all right.
She like fluffed him to get him started. So, that's, it wasn't a passionate blowjob. It was just, she got him started, got him up, and then like, all right, come on. And then I don't know.
What was it, like a business-like blowjob? Is that what we're calling it now? A business blowjob?
Yes. She gave him a business professional blowjob, and just to fluff him and get him started, and then said, all right, come on, hurry up. And then she got it. And then, if she had some food at her house, he probably ate some of the food. That's about what he got paid in. He busted a nut and ate a sandwich. That's about it. But all right.
By February 2021, Reese Brooks had spent months on an increasingly desperate effort to conceive a child with sperm from a black donor when she drove 2.5 hours from her apartment in Newark, Delaware, to Fairfax Cryobank in Northern Virginia and picked up a 10-pound cryotank containing 2 vials of sperm from a 5'10" Peruvian man who practices MMA fighting. After spending $8,000 on 3 failed insemination procedures with sperm from a cryobank, Brooks had conceived in 2019 using sperm from a close friend who was black. But she lost her son, Kemet, after she delivered prematurely at 24 weeks. When Reese felt ready to try again, her friend was in a new relationship and didn't feel comfortable being her donor. And when she filtered for a black donor on the Fairfax Cryobank site, she said she was left with just 3 options out of more than 100 donors, 2 of whom were positive with CMV, cytomegalovirus, a leading infectious cause of birth defects. We continue to work hard to recruit more black donors, Morgan Barker, senior marketing manager at Fairfax Cryobank, said in an emailed statement. There are several in the pipeline who should be available at the beginning of next year, and a few more are in the screening process. There's so many good African American men out there. Maybe they just don't know how much they're needed to create families.
Yeah, that right there blew me away the first time I heard of it. I'm like, really? Wow. The audacity of it all.
Rewind that again. Run that back.
There are several in the pipeline who should be available at the beginning of next year, and a few more are in the screening process. There's so many good African American men out there. Maybe they just don't know how much they're needed to create families.
Dude. It's bad out here, bro. It's so bad out here. Stuff like this is why people say let it burn, man. Like, come on. Could you be any more, like, unself-aware?
Yeah. That is wild. That got me on full-blown speechless mode. Like, I'm literally speechless on that one. Like, There are good black men out here. They don't understand how important it is to create. What did he say? Good families, strong families. Was that the uttering?
Hold on, let me see.
Hold
Yep.
on,
No,
yeah,
just to create families.
just to create families. That we need y'all good men to help us create families. By families, we literally mean we just want your sperm so we can raise kids by ourselves. Like it's like they're taking some of the concepts that we talk about here, how women act and function in reality when they're actually, sleeping with and getting pregnant by men. It's like that same mentality was written in an article to the women who are looking for sperm. In the name of family creation and family production and family structure, we need y'all to formally donate the sperm. All right? We don't want to just get it by happenstance. No, we need you formally donating it. We still want to be single mamas. We just want to make sure we do it on our terms when we want to, and we want it to be fast, easy, and efficient. So we need more of y'all to nut in a cup. Now, still keep serial impregnating the chicks that want to just get pregnant by happenstance. But for those of us who want to properly plan our single motherhood, we need y'all nutting in cups. To make strong, to produce and make families for the black community.
I feel like this is the future of black dating websites. This is the new Black People Meet right here, where it's just, you put your baby picture up and your price for a vial of jizz, and she decides if that's the sale she wants to make.
Well, hold on, but let's look at it like this, and let's keep it real. They did say that some of the women are going to online groups. All right, that's not Black People Meet. That's not Black, black.com, the dating app. Shout out to the no voting, no fucking ad. But when they said online groups, that's sort of right around the corner from dating apps. You see?
Yeah.
Like I don't Facebook that hard, but it's a lot of online groups on Facebook. You know how like some like this space, there's a lot of different Discords. I got to get my Discord set up finally, but there's a lot of different Discords or chat rooms like this, or just more tightly knit algorithm, sort of like the algorithm in many parts of the Black manosphere. It's like an online group, damn near. But a Facebook, they do that more structured, where people sign up, become a part of that group, and everybody who's in that group is in that group, and they talk and they it's all mostly typing, but they debating and going through ideas and having discussions, and if the online group or the damn Reddit groups, it's all kind of different Reddit groups out there. And so those, you're basically talking about an online community where those people be getting together and meeting and having meetups and doing all kind of shit together. And so if they finding them in online group, they're finding sperm just through the essentially the social media world. I don't know if you're talking about online groups that's set up for sperm donation, or if they're just going to their online community just looking for sperm. But that's right around the corner from full-blown dating apps for it, if there's an online group set up for it. If it's an online group set up for specifically for that, that's not really that much different than a dating app set up for it. That's all I'm pretty much saying. Somebody said TikTok babies. Yeah, that's wild. Shout out to that movie. Somebody mentioned the movie He Hate Me with the new Black Captain America. Back before he was Captain America. Him, Kerry Washington, and some other cute chick was in the movie where he was, I don't know, had a situation with both. I forgot exactly what it was or how it played out. I don't remember the plot, but I think one of his girlfriends, I think she went bi or got a girlfriend or something, but they wanted a baby, and so he gave him a baby or something like that. And then somebody else in the lesbian community found out, oh yeah, I got somebody who know how to hit the target. Well, shit, like, God damn it, I need a baby. And then they went to him, and then it just turned into a business. He impregnated like 30 to 40 women. Had a beautiful ending. He ended up being with the two women, so he got.
Well, and see, this is why movies are dangerous, and then you got to be careful about the ideas that you accept wholeheartedly, right? Because practically what was happening in that movie was you are creating a man offered his masculine energy, if you will, to women who almost by definition are at war with men.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't look at it like that at the time. At the time that movie came out, I had a completely different mindset
Right.
on these topics. So I didn't view it like that. So I probably will rewatch it. It's one of those movies that I know I'll rewatch and see it through a different lens and probably have a completely different takeaway, but at the time that I saw it, I just looked at it as, hey, lesbians are, they want families, and that's how they got to get them. So I didn't think that I thought I gotta rewatch it I gotta rewatch it under my, through the lens I see things through now, and I probably have a different take on it. But I didn't see nothing horribly wrong with it, other than just put it like this: if you accept that there's sperm that there's sperm banks, okay, let me take it this route. Do you think sperm banks should be closed down?
I think it would be better if they didn't exist. I don't want to be the guy like closed down the sperm bank. That's feels a little extreme to me. But I think it's probably a negative more than a positive.
Okay, I could see you on that. Like, anything, and much as we get accused of being chauvinistic or woman hating or woman bashing, I think your motivation in that is that anything that works against men and women being together in a nuclear more traditional way, traditional-ish kind of way that makes sense, man woman in a man woman child kind of way, anything that works against that, you're generally against it. Is that a fair assessment of why you think sperm banks probably shouldn't exist?
Yeah, for the most part, there's this idea called like the natural law, and generally speaking, I tend to use that concept as a main line for like morality or legal doctrine or whatever. So like the idea of a sperm bank is inherently against natural law. I mean, from that perspective, women who don't like men are biologically out of the game.
Yeah. See, now the slippery slope you run into when you start talking about natural law, I mean, okay, it's natural to bust a nut in a woman and get her pregnant, attempt to get her pregnant every single time y'all have sex. But you pull out and put a condom on. So, it's like we fight against the nature all the time, you see?
Yes and no. I mean, this is why Catholics don't believe in birth control, and I totally understand the logic of it. And this is an interesting conversation to have with a woman too, right? Because I've had this at one point. What is the actual purpose of sex, Bernard? Think about this for a minute.
Are you asking me?
Just for a rhetorical point, but like the purpose of sex isn't orgasm. Or orgasm, like the pleasure of orgasm, is not the purpose. The purpose is to procreate. Human beings are some of the few animals. There may be like one or two other observed species that have sex like recreationally, like hyenas and bonobos. But generally speaking, sex is about babies, right? So from the Catholic perspective, if sex is about babies and creating a baby is something, it's almost like a divine thing that God has allowed you to do, is to create another human being, then you are sinning by going through this divine act and then blocking the actual act from completing itself. You go through this, it's like sacrilege to create this act and then stop the consummation, so to speak. That's why Catholics are kind of against birth control. That's my rough interpretation of it.
Yeah, I mean, and I understand that interpretation, but in this modern world, we don't want to get a woman pregnant every time we have sex. So it's like it's natural that we are one of the few species that are like, put it like this: dogs have sex when they're in heat. Now, well, okay, a male dog will hump a pillow 365 days a year, but they only have actual sex with each other when they're in heat, if I understand it right. Human beings are women ovulate. Women can only get pregnant through a certain time in the month. A lot of people don't know that, oddly enough. But pretty much, so other than that, yeah, sex is just for fun. And so we did naturally evolve to be that way. So you could still make a natural you still can make a natural argument that sex is, is recreational and fun. But it turns into, somebody just said slippery slope, slippery slope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it
because
turns
now you're
into a slippery slope thing. But yeah. So that's where, that's more or less where I'm at with it. It's an interesting concept. If you follow your logic all the way home, you probably should arrive at the conclusion that that sperm banks shouldn't be. And that some people probably would draw a hard line on that. There should be no sperm banks. There should be no abortion clinics. There should be no, like, anything other than natural man, woman, dick in vagina, nut is bust, sperm reaches egg, baby is born. Anything other than that is going against, is going against nature. But there's a lot of different ways to look at it, though. But Christian Hutchinson in the building says, no black couples in search for black men sperm donors. Historical, that's what was done before these more advanced methods. No black couples in search for black male sperm donors. Is that a statement? Like, you're just saying that there are no black couples in search for black male sperm donors? You know what? That's what I naturally would have thought, that the black people that wanted, the black women that wanted to have get the sperm donor, that they wanted, they also wanted to create a day walker. So that was my initial thought. I mean, that with the sperminator dude, that's sort of what it was.
Yeah, I covered that. Like, bro, that was deep. Like, most of them were black and gay.
Yeah. But he says that's what was done before these more advanced methods. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Cole still in the building says, in my opinion, one of the purposes of sex is to keep your partner away from your competition. Okay.
Right. And when we're having this conversation about, like, animals versus human sexual behavior, there's the element of emotional attachment, and it's hard to, like, ascribe that to animals, where we can definitely make that argument with human beings. Like, sex has a bonding component with men and women, like, especially when you're young and you're first having sex. Immense bonding hormones are released during that act, and it's meant to drive the man and the woman further together.
Yeah. No, agreed. So yeah, no, good point then, Cole. Still, I see where you were going with that. But Chris Hudson says, no, in the article, those weren't black couples. That adds an interesting element to it. It sort of fits my other theory that the black women were not looking for black sperm. It was probably liberal white women that wanted some black sperm.
Bro, that's what I was joking about. I was like, there's probably a bunch of white women out there buying up all the black sperm. They got their fast track on the black sperm market. So anytime, a doctor or a lawyer or something skeets in the cup, they get first dibs.
Yeah. Because I think genetics has a stronger component than what we want to give it credit to for how somebody turns out. I do think more black doctors and black really exceptional people, rather athletically, intellectually, or whatever, should skeet in a lot of cups. But anyway, I want to get to the main topic. We are hour in, so I want to actually cover the topic in the thumbnail. But this was interesting. And when you sent it to me, I clicked on it wrong, and I didn't even see the article. I just saw a Twitter post, so I didn't really know where you was going. But no, this did turn out to be definitely.
I tell you could have spent the whole morning with this. This is crazy, and we're only halfway through.
Yeah. But all right, now I'm trying to pull up. Oh shit! Now I lost what I came here for. But let me get back to that. Let me find that. Let me pull that up, because resetting the table here. Interesting, very interesting. Very interesting turn of events happened with Tucker Carlson, and this happens every now and then on Fox News, where they will pretty much more or less, hit the hornet's nest every now and then. Now, MSNBC seems to be hitting the hornet's nest quite often. That one chick who's, I keep forgetting her name, Tiffany Cross. Tiffany Cross is the chick that, do you remember the quote that she she was the one that basically was calling out black men on the whole, not voting for Stacey Abrams thing. Y'all need to get in line behind these black women. Don't run back to the oppressor. Y'all oppressed. Why y'all running to the oppressor? Better get in line behind these women. Like that. That's how it came off. That's the chick that Tucker Carlson is calling out. I do want to set that up because it will be one thing, Tucker Carlson, he going at, because okay, here's the thing. It's easy to say, why would, black men be, look at Tucker Carlson and what he's saying about this black woman who speaks up for black people, and he's trying to call her racist. Why are we, I guess more in agreement with what he's talking about? But when you look at some of the things that she says, some of it is a far reach, but the fact of the matter is, I don't view this woman as somebody who speaks up for black people. I look at her literally as somebody who, she's a part of that whole that Jamila Hill type of clique. That Jamila Hill clique. Like these chicks, they regularly shit on black men. And black men are moving in a direction where they're seeing that socially, culturally, politically, what's going on with the left is politics in the whole culture war aspect of it is geared towards black men, and geared towards black women, and black men just come along for the ride, increase the numbers, and cast your vote. That's more or less what's going on. So Tucker Carlson calling her out, I see no problem with it. But Roland Martin came to the rescue with his cape on and defending the woman who he sat there quietly and very docile when she basically talked about black men like they were little boys. So that's the interesting dynamic that's going on here, and it's a lot of layers with this. So we about to break it down and pick it apart. So let me
really quickly, Bernard, while you pull that up, if you remember, this is I don't know how many weeks or months ago. It was probably like when this Saturday show really started picking up steam. I did a show saying we did a show saying the title I think was "White Supremacy is a her problem, it's not your problem."
Yeah,
and this is kind of touching back onto that very idea where like the women are like hell bent on just nitpicking every little racial grievance that they could find, and mostly, contriving and just fabricating racial grievances, like all these racial hoaxes that have been happening lately, or just that just happen normally, right? And if you really stop and look at it, it's a game where ultimately it's designed, she thinks anyway, she can dethrone the white man and put herself on top, and you have to bear all the blood. You guys do all the fighting and the dying, and you make her queen. That's the game that I see being played here. And so when I look at all this stuff happening,
she's like Queen Daenerys, and we're the Unsullied.
Yeah, yes, an army of dickless men. That's exactly how the Democrats view the black male voter base. This is why, they can come at you with voting and vucking and all that. They don't respect you. Ultimately, they see you as an army of dickless men. And you're not really good for much else but fighting and dying to put this chick on the throne.
Yeah. You know what? I spent like 8 years getting very annoyed when people made Game of Thrones references that I didn't get. So I went on and binge watched Game of Thrones just for like this moment right here, so I can drop a Game of Thrones reference into into my show. I feel real good. I feel real good.
No, did you enjoy it though? Because this is one of my favorite shows ever. That's a deep show.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but something wrong with my attention span nowadays. Like I've damn near watched it twice. Like I had to go back. Like it's so much going on. The world is so big and so many characters, and when they speak in that little slight accent, I get thrown off. I don't know. So I had to. So I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Put it like this: I didn't enjoy it. Like it's not my all-time favorite show, but I understand why it's the shit. Put it like that. I enjoyed it.
All
But anyway. But most my biggest takeaway is that I can make Game of Thrones references now, and I'm looking forward to the season finale of the new one that's out. The season finale drops tomorrow night. So yeah,
it's
I'm all in.
watchable, but it's not that good. It's watchable though. It's way better than that Lord of the Rings shit, but it's still not like the original couple seasons of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings, the last episode got kind of promising because it was like, oh, they finally it's like they slow walked us all the way into, okay, now the show about to start. Okay, damn, this is the final episode. So yes, but it's it ended. This ain't no major spoiler. I mean, I know what the show about. It's about how when the rings were created, and so it ended with, I think, the creation of like the first 3 rings, and then we found out it was some big character reveals that happened. Put it like that.
They finally told you who Sauron was, and that was the best part of the whole show. We could have saved all the other episodes and just watched that, and I'd have been happy.
Yeah. No, like seriously, they could have condensed that into like one. Hell, they could have condensed that whole thing into one 3-hour movie like the other ones. They legit, yes, yeah. Just make a goddamn just make a trilogy out of that shit. If it's going to go 3 seasons, instead of doing 8 long episodes, just condense the shit into 3. That's what I felt like I watched. I felt like I watched those little people that I thought was hobbits, but they weren't hobbits. They were just some little people. They were
the ugly hobbits. Like, oh my god, I hate that part. It's like, this is like Lord of the Rings with all the ugly people. Like, that's everybody in here is just, because the original Lord of the Rings was like royalty. It kind of had a regal sort of vibe to it, where it's like, y'all, it's just like, this is all the ugly people in Middle Earth. No wonder y'all died. Like, this is just like, something about it just rubs me the wrong way.
It was poorly casted. You got a good point. Yeah. And then in the House of Dragon, okay, I don't even want to get into that. It's just weird that they got I don't know why the black characters got blonde hair. Like platinum blonde hair. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with that. The funny thing is, their hair was that color in the book, but they decided to make them black, but they kept the platinum blonde hair.
Yeah, where you find these Negroes? Like, there's a magical island somewhere in the Game of Thrones universe that's not really written about yet. It's these platinum blonde Negroes. That's the only people on this one island, and that's where they come from, apparently.
Yeah, you know what? I would accept that if all the platinum blonde black folks in there, if there's some place, like how the Dothrakis they all had a certain look. They look like some big barbarian South American, Mexican looking barbarian dudes. And if you go to their homeland, that's how people look over there. So if there's a homeland, some place you could go to where it's just all black people, that's where the Game of Thrones niggas are from. And they all happen to have platinum blonde hair. That's just how they genetically turned out. I'll be like, okay. But just to plug in a couple of them because they had blonde hair in the book, but you made them black, but you still kept the blonde hair. It's like, what? It's throwing me off. So if they don't, if we need an origin story for how these niggas are walking around with blonde hair. That's all I want to know. Unless you tell me they just culturally dye it and it's just because they want to fit in with the Targaryens, then it needs. They got to explain that blonde hair. It's bothering me. They should have just gave them black hair and just called it. But anyway, all right. That's the only thing. I'm not annoyed.
I'm with you. I am with you. Something about the black Targaryens just bothers me. It's like a sore at the top of your mouth. It's just something about it that just irks you nonstop all day long. Like, oh, why did you do this?
Yeah. Because I know it's a lot of white people online just blowing a gasket just because they just put black characters in there. Like I'm that. No, I ain't doing that. Cool. Yeah. Cast black people in Game of Thrones. Whatever. That's cool. That's good. Why the fuck they got blonde hair? That's the only thing.
Right. The thing is too, they already have black people in Game of Thrones. I mean, Daenerys Targaryen, before she landed back in Westeros with her dragons, she was in the land of all the black people. Like, everybody over there was like brown and dark skin, and some of them were just outright black. So like it's not like it's a new introduction to the universe. So I wasn't tripping on it on that level. It's just like but the Targaryen blonde, really? That's what you went with? Like it was wrong. It was wrong.
Yeah, that just threw it all off. That just threw it all off. But all right, let's go ahead and get into the main topic here. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it. We'll try to get through this relatively fast. I know SKC wanted to get a piece of this, so I do want to open it up in a reasonable amount of time. So let's get ready to go. Roland Martin is funny looking. I just okay. Anyway, all right, let's go.
I was writing my book, White Fear. One of the things that immediately jumped out in terms of how I framed this whole deal is the literal white nationalism, the white racism of Fox News. Ever since Fox News was created by Roger Ailes, it was designed to appeal to the racial buttons of white America. It has always been about the white outrage. That's why they have targeted African Americans, target Latinos. That's why every time they need their ratings boosted, they'll conjure up a caravan coming to the southern border. That's their entire deal. And so,
all right,
wait, hold on. Yeah.
We both wanted to stop at the same time. Go ahead. You go first.
So you think the caravans just get conjured up, like magically delicious people just be popping up at the border every time there's an election? Like, no, that's not how this works, bro. Every other day on my Twitter feed, I get new videos of just this nice orderly line of the new workforce coming reporting for duty across the Rio Grande. Like, bro, it's not an imaginary thing. They are real. They are coming. They're coming to take your job.
Yeah. And Robert J. Carmichael, thank you for that Cash App. Do appreciate that. Thank you for the Cash App. Also, last one left, Hayes said Facebook groups. He was referring to when we was talking about the online groups where they are meeting up, clicking up, and finding sperm donors in Facebook groups. So interesting. And Dead Set Anime, I think I may have read this. He said, the moment you remove your purpose from an action, you head into perversion. It's just like eating. We eat for sustenance, but when we have but what we have now is a perversion. Over access leads to gluttony. That's generally true. I think he's referring to the purpose of sex, and the purpose of sex is procreation. When you remove that purpose, you head into perversion. I think the only bit of truth in that is that because sex is 99% of the time not done for the purpose of procreation, then your own personal proclivities or abnormalities leak into the bedroom, and then it turns into all kinds of different kinky fetishy sex, and that people are just doing for fun. I don't necessarily like the word perversion because I have my fetishes and I like them, so I don't call it a perversion. Well, I guess you can call it a perversion, but I is what it is. But
no, I mean, without making it personal, I think the point does stand. Though it's compared to previous generations' ideas about sex and sexuality, the modern world is perverted.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. It is, but yeah, I mean, I accept many aspects of it. But all right, let's get back into it. He took us back to what we was talking about before. But shout out to last one. I think that who the hell just said that? Dead Set Anime. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. That's a whole nother discussion. We'll probably get into at some later date. But let's go ahead. Oh yeah, what I wanted to respond to as far as what Roland Martin said, he's pointing out that part of the Fox News news strategy, business strategy, their hashtag content strategy is to drum up white fear that the more heavily melanated people, black and brown people, are going to do something horrible to you. And to me, that's the pot calling the kettle black, because a big part of what Roland Martin does is galvanize black people into to believing that there's some evil white boogeyman out to do something to you. He plays every little, like, it's this clip going around that's really, messed up to look at, where some white dude thought that trying to figure out who stole a bike or something, and it was some retarded black dude. Like, he was literally retarded. Like, I'm not saying that, just calling him like he was mentally retarded, and he like held him by the neck while he's calling the police or something. It was like real fucked up. It was real fucked up, and people protesting and all outside of his house. And I mean, listen, when I saw this shit, I felt like he needed his ass whooped. I mean, that was just my personal opinion on that. But the fact of the matter is, Roland Martin makes sure that just like how Fox News plays the caravan of Mexicans coming, Roland Martin is going to make sure he find whatever clip he can of a white person doing something bad like that. Like, I'm going to make this go viral too, because I'm going. So basically, all I'm saying is they're all playing the same game. So he can't talk about it with some moral indignation that how dare they do that, when a big part of his whole marketing strategy is to galvanize black and brown people against what he perceives as the enemy. And Fox News, in turn, is trying to galvanize their audience of mostly white people, what they perceive as the enemy or as a problem. And there's that. And then one could argue that a caravan of Mexicans coming in, they coming in by the thousands and millions, is a bigger issue than, every 2 weeks, once a month, there's a viral moment where an individual white man does something racist to an individual black person. These are, so one could argue that it's a bigger problem. I mean, we broke down on the show the problem with a bunch of illegal immigrants coming in here and how that affects black people, particularly the lower class, working class black people, that's making making the market for their jobs even more scarce. So we talked about that and we broke that down. So yes, they're pointing out a legitimate problem, and they're playing on, I do think they are playing on some white fear to stir up, because people will watch more if they get emotionally drawn into it. All I'm saying is Roland Martin plays the same game. He manipulates black people's emotions all the same way, by taking, isolated incidents and just playing a barrage of them. And then now, they're galvanized, they're galvanized thinking that there's an enemy. Everybody does that to some degree. Whatever your general topic is about, even if your channel is about, much like a lot of the channels in this space, is about, talking about, the shit that women do or the shit that black women do. And when we talk about that, then okay. I mean, if a channel particularly covers it, it's going to be an oversaturation of it, just like there's an oversaturation of basketball on ESPN. So I think that's a false argument from the start to point out another person doing something that you're also doing. That's where I'm at with it. That was my initial takeaway from his setup.
I would just make this one simple point. When it comes to actual interracial violence, like white on black versus black on white, one side is just way, 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 way more active than the other. All right. And that is the kind of stuff that doesn't really get spun. Like, even to kind of piggyback on what you just said, there is an occasional racial incident that you may be able to like stretch into some kind of sensational moment and then have it play on the media nonstop. And then, you're just hyping up this one incident. But the caravan at the border is every day. It's nonstop. So one side, I mean, they both can be guilty of playing the fear game, if that's how you want to frame it. But one side is making a more sound argument than the other. One side is actually grounded in more facts than the other.
Yeah, that is a I mean, well, see, I don't even want to take it this route. I'm just gonna keep it moving.
All right, my bad.
No, you ain't do nothing wrong. I'm internally debating whether or not I even want to go there, because okay, when they're going to show the video of this of a white dude, doing something wrong, doing something fucked up, over something that was, pretty petty. They talk about hate crimes a lot, and I know hate crimes are hard to really suss out and figure out, what's a hate crime. you gotta dig in order to dig up what's truly a hate crime. You got to really get into the person's motivation as to why they did it. And we talked about this before. If a black dude beat a white dude ass because they, got into an argument over a Michigan versus Ohio State football game, that wasn't a hate crime. But if he just beat his ass just because he was white, okay, then that is a hate crime. The end result is somebody got their ass whooped. So what's the difference? Why even, make a big deal about, the reason why, penalize the person for whooping somebody's ass for no reason, for not a good reason. And so when you look at it like that, and then just take all the reason and motivation out of it, and just look at the raw numbers, yeah, black people do commit more crimes against white people in terms of so it turns into a situation that's like, okay, then what are they talking about here? But it's black news. It's black news, and they control it. They can put what they want to put on there. So I'm not gonna knock them for putting out their narrative if that's their narrative, because but it is something to be said about the overall accuracy of it if you're talking about white crimes against black people versus black crimes against white people and motivations behind them. So there's that, but I'm not trying to dig all the way into that. I'm not trying to dig all the way into that. But let's go.
When they decided to oppose, if you will, or speak truthfully about the election with Donald Trump, he began to attack them, and One America News and Newsmax's ratings began to increase. And so they began to lose numbers. And so they freaked out and said, well, let's double down on Donald Trump, double down on election lying. That's why Dominion is suing them. And so they've even allowed Tucker Carlson, who is nothing but a trust fund baby born with 2 silver spoons in his mouth, to all of a sudden create this whole notion that he is a populist and he cares about the working class man and woman, when really, if you listen to his show or watch his show, he is nothing but a white nationalist who's spewing hatred against people of color. And that's why his show is the highest rated one on cable news. He is all about white.
Well, he's number one because he's in that 8 o'clock Bill O'Reilly time slot. The 8 o'clock show normally gets the highest views, and seeing as MSNBC and CNN lean more left, whoever has the 8 o'clock show on Fox News is going to have the highest, is going to be the number one show. That's whoever has that slot on, because MSNBC and CNN are splitting MSNBC
Right.
and CNN are splitting an audience.
Right.
So whoever's number one at 8 o'clock on Fox News, I mean, whoever's going on at 8 o'clock on Fox News, they're gonna have the highest rated show. But wait, no, I don't. Do we go on at 8? I don't know, 8 or 9. Either way, it doesn't matter what time. But Fox News, Bill O'Reilly's always brag, I'm the number one show. I'm like, yeah, you don't really got no competition. But for people who want to watch conservative talking news or whatever. But SKC says, question, he's gonna take us back to the animals and shit. SKC says, question, do most animals have sex for pleasure or for procreation? I would say procreation. Yes, it's a far-reaching catch-22 question that I'll reference months from now. What?
Well, it's a catch-22 question, and that, like, it's almost like it locks you into one or the other. And I don't think the true answer, I mean, from a biblical perspective, I don't think the true answer is a pure one or the other. That's what the institution of marriage is supposed to resolve.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what you mean. I'll reference. Yes, a far-reaching catch-22 question that I'll reference. I think he's saying, speaking to the fact that I've called human beings animals. I think that's what he's referring to right there. Do most animals have sex for pleasure or for procreation? Most for procreation. So there's that. But all right. Let's get back into it. And Perry sent a Cash App the other day on the last live show that I forgot to acknowledge. So shout out to Perry. Do appreciate that Cash App.
grievance. He's all about, oh my goodness, the white people, it's all ending for us. He is the epitome of my book, White Fear, how the browning of America is making white folks lose their minds. That's who Tucker Carlson is. And so this...
Now, like I said, there are legitimate reasons to be against immigration, especially illegal immigration. There are legitimate political, social reasons why Americans should be against that. I do think it's true that Fox News tries to, breaking down the analytics and the empirical reasons why to be against it. Yeah, that works and that's effective. Ben Shapiro does that, but there's a lot of white people that are against it because they just like, fuck New Mexicans. So yeah, I think it's true that Fox News does walk that delicate balance of speaking to the truth of why we're against it, while simultaneously trying to drum up that emotion. My argument is Roland Martin drums up that same emotion in black people as well. So that's just my general argument there. I don't know if you got anything to add to that, but I'm gonna play ball.
No, keep going.
Week, a couple of nights ago, he decided to take aim at Joanne Reed and specifically Tiffany Cross, two sisters with shows on MSNBC. If you want to see this level of nastiness, hatred, and bigotry, just watch this.
This is what I was
Have you watched MSNBC lately? Likely you haven't. Like the Tootsies, you're not the target audience, but you should tune in sometime. It's remarkable. Given that opposing racism is America's national religion, it may surprise you to learn that open race hate forms much of the substance of that channel's programming. And when we say race hate, we're not referring to the subtle coded variety. You want border security? You're giving your kids piano lessons? You like Shakespeare? You believe in the SAT? You must be a racist. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the kind of race hate you cannot mistake for anything else, the kind where people just come out and announce, I hate this race of people, and here's why I do. It's hard to believe that anything like that is happening right now on American television, but it is, out in the open. And the most amazing and the most creepy part of all is that no one is saying anything about it. It's all but ignored. And honestly, we had no idea it was going on either until we started getting texts from people. Are you watching this? Can you believe this? So we tuned in. Apparently on the left, what you're about to see is considered completely normal, even good. And that should worry you deeply. You don't want to live in Rwanda. But on MSNBC, they're already there. Now, you probably knew about Joy Reid, the race lady, who's been fixated on race hate for years now. But MSNBC has a new host, someone called Tiffany Cross, who hosts a show called The Cross Connection. Here's a selection.
No.
Many of us have.
Now, keep in mind when you listen to this, now in this country that's called this most racist country, this country where, allegedly, supposedly black people can't do this, can't do that, got to walk in tiptoe stance, this major nationally syndicated news show puts this on. Like what we're about to hear, just keep in mind that this isn't Roland Martin's show right here. This part, this isn't Roland Martin on his own personal YouTube channel. This is
one thing,
regular middle America white people just flicking through the channels, going to just the regular, one of the top 3 major nationally syndicated news stations, and this is what is on. Real quick, what you gonna say?
No, I'm waiting for the bad thing that Tucker Carlson, like, point to me where he said a racist thing. Like, that's because people are trying to say, oh, Tucker Carlson, he's attacking race, he's a racist, he's attacking black women. I'm like, all right, what did he say that was bad? Like, she's about to say things that are way more inflammatory than anything Tucker said so far, but I'm just waiting for him to say something crazy.
Well, they're calling him racist for calling her racist. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
No, they're calling. Yeah, no, that I said it right. I got tongue tied. But yeah, they're calling him racist for calling her racist. Because so it does turn into a weird thing. It turns into a weird thing that they're doing is. So yeah, so let's just play it and then analyze. But I also I shouldn't connect two stories, but I'm going to connect two stories because I've heard how she also talks about black men or talks to black men. So that's why I don't want to connect two stories, but she did say some bullshit there. She did say some bullshit there, and I hate that now I filter everything I hear from her through that lens. I do. But
I just want to say I invoke the interracial bro code of 1985. Like this is not, fuck that. I'm not playing the race game with her. I'm standing with this white man.
Seen the dangers when powerful white people decide they want something. Many of us have seen the dangers when powerful white people decide they want something, they annex it. And they've never had a problem replacing the people who stand in their way.
We see American white people are going crazy. They're resorting to violence.
This is literally what conservative white folks do when they don't get their way. They turn violent.
White people deputizing themselves in some position of authority to have jurisdiction over their life when they need to mind their blanking business.
I don't think it's our responsibility to be tasked with destroying and dismantling the racial oppression that's against us. That's just saying we're more at fault than the white people who constructed this system and the white people who continue to practice institutional racism.
A majority of white people do not support policies that would unpack and unroll and reform this system of justice. This is what they want. Matt Gaetz is giving the white folks what they want.
White replacement can strangle culture. So yes, we should all be concerned about white replacement. It is, after all, a very threat to our survival here.
Is there anything worse than white people? They're violent. They're heartless. They're cruel. They're deranged. They're secretive. They're dishonest. In fact, as you just heard Tiffany Cross say, white people are a mortal danger to you and your loved ones. They threaten your life. Are they poisoning the wells? Are they baking bread with the blood of your children? If not, according to Tiffany Cross and MSNBC,
Wait, can you pause right there real quick?
Yeah.
I don't know if people notice this. This is, you gotta, deep history. That is what's called blood libel. That poisoning the wells and baking bread with the blood of your children, that is what is traditionally thrown at Jews historically. So that he kind of slipped in the blood, like, oh, so you're gonna call me one of them. You're gonna treat me like one of them, basically. He got that in there, and I don't think a lot of people caught that. That was deep. That was a nice way to slide that in there.
Interesting. All right. Let's go back to something Tiffany Cross said. Because this is something that, okay, you would think more white people would be concerned about this, about the darkening. I think I heard somebody call it that, the darkening of America. It's moving in that direction. Like I said, pretty soon, white people are going to be less than 50% of the population. That's coming real soon, in probably 15 years. And they talked about that as if white people are actively, working hard to prevent it. But no, I think half of white people, or half of the country, particularly the Democratic Party, they are supporting policies that's going to help bring that on. And you do see people on the right kind of scared to talk about it. If they do got a problem with it, they're scared to talk about it because they don't want to get called racist. So my thing is, like, the ball is rolling on this shit to where, yeah, America is going to be less white. America is going to be less white. And the only people that I truly hear calling that out are the people that they get deplatformed when they do it. Jared Taylor is not on YouTube anymore. The people who truly got a problem with that, they get deplatformed, and all the other white people, they either got an issue with it and they're scared to say something about it, or they absolutely 100% support it and think it's a good thing. So
think about this.
In that sense, if somebody is for the in terms of a political power, if you view political power not coming from ideology, but coming from the standpoint of if it's more black and brown people, then overall, even though brown people, Hispanic, Latino people, they don't operate like they're teamed up with black people. Only black people do that. Black people say black and brown. You never hear them, Hispanic and Latino people, saying brown and black. You never hear that. That's only us that's
Los
doing
negros
that.
y los cafés.
Yes,
You never hear that.
We're the only ones that do that shit. We're the only ones that do that shit. But for the people that are in the camp that essentially, and I don't think that much about it. I think it's interesting and I think it's fascinating that white people are going to be less than 50% of the country. I think it's interesting. It's interesting. I'm watching. I'm keeping an eye on it. But if you're politically on the side of yes, that's a good thing. We got to shrink the amount of white people, increase the amount of more melanated people, and then that way we could run them out, uproot. That basically this is a this is what an unhostile takeover looks like. This is what like it's like, and now I'm sitting here as a black man, like, hey, I'll sit back and watch it. I'll sit back and watch this happen. But I mean,
well, look, if you see what's happened in parts of Southern California, I mean, this has made the news at some instances. It's never been a national story because only the white man's allowed to be racist, but it's not non-hostile. There's been fire bombings and shootings and stabbings and beatings and little mini race riots at the schools and all of that. Like, you don't hear about these things coming out of the West Coast because the news doesn't really like that kind of story. But just look at the city council thing just last week or two in Los Angeles, right? Imagine a white man calling black people monkeys. Like, several people would have probably had to retire. His wife would have had to quit. He'd have got divorced next year. Like, his life would have been over if he'd have been on the mic calling black people monkeys. But like, Spanish lady does it. They let her quietly exit the building. And and honestly, if it hadn't have been like, if she hadn't got caught on the recording, if it was just sort of like a rumor thing, it would have never went anywhere.
All right. Two comments to deal with. Deal with SKC's comment. Immigration is great if you want to see the community. Okay, if you want to see the community burn, just saying. SKC, I like you better when you're not saying you want to see it burn, but when you're just describing the reasons why it's burning or why it's going to burn. You don't. You want to sit back and watch it. You don't. You don't want to be caught with the gasoline or the match in your hand. All right. But anyway.
Well, let me ask you a question. Because now you raise an interesting point. Is the guy who brought the gasoline just as bad as the guy who brought the marshmallows to watch the fire? He's gonna sit there and have s'mores and shit.
The guy with the marshmallows in the Hershey bars and the graham crackers cannot be brought on any charges. All he did. What can you charge him with other than being indifferent?
Facts,
I understand indifference. I don't understand rooting for it to burn. That's where I'm at with it. But Tariq does raise an interesting question here. So Bernard, who came up with this plan? Did black people come up with this plan to brown America? I would say no.
Don't say their names. The people who came up with this plan, you're not allowed to say their names. Don't Kanye me.
Oh, are you saying that
hey, how come Europe's getting brown at the same time? How come there's this global phenomena where all these brown people are moving into only the white countries? Like, there isn't an army of brown people moving into China. There isn't an army of brown people trying to retake Africa. I'm just, these major things are happening all around the world at the same time. But whatever. Don't listen. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole again.
Yeah, I don't need. Oh, you know what? I got a video on Patreon where we did go down that. Well, I put it on Patreon, but I forgot to put it in my community tab that it can be seen on Patreon. But yeah, when we did go down that rabbit hole and stepped in all of that shit. I took it down because I didn't want to lose my channel. But I don't know what. And again, that's something I got to do research on, whether or not there's a group of people that you don't speak of and speak too much of Otherwise, you might lose your channel. With said group that small hats. That group there that you don't speak of. I haven't done a lot of research on all the stuff that people say that they're doing in running and controlling things, but I will just speak about what's happening. And yes, over in European countries, a lot of people are migrating from the Middle Eastern countries and African countries. Just it's not that far of a trip. They just walking on in. And
The boat
a lot of
ride.
those European countries are getting a lot darker, and the soccer teams are getting a lot more, athletic. And we saw what soccer team was that one where it was like, wait a
Like the
minute, that's
French soccer team is all from like sub-Saharan Africa. Everybody in the French soccer team is from the Congo.
Scotland. I mean, not Scotland, but some I forgot what soccer team it was, but it was a place that was traditionally like 99.99% black, like less than 30 years ago. They put up an all black soccer team out there, kicking ass. Well, and hell, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the two-time NBA MVP, he if I'm not mistaken, his origin comes from something like that, basically, because he's from Greece,
Yeah,
a
that's
big
not a
7 foot.
Swahili name.
Yeah, a big 7 foot nigga from Greece with a Swahili name. Yeah, African migrated over there and knocked up a white woman. It's like that's happening in mass over there. And so when people this is why I get a little, I guess confused. Like I understand that there's white racist, but when people talk about white supremacy, and I'm like, ooh, white supremacy, they're dropping the fucking ball if their goal is to reign supreme over everybody. But meanwhile, they're about to let America become not a majority white country, and the same shit is happening in Europe. And when admixture happens, the white population decreases and the melanated population increases. It turns into a situation like these white supremacists are some pretty bad white supremacists, unless you have the view of it that I have, where I don't look at it as that. I look at it as certain people, a very small percentage of people that are global elites, and they don't really give a fuck about what's happening on the ground with the normies. Long as they're in power, they'll. So it's really almost it's not even like a white supremacy. It's more like I don't even know what to call it. Like a small percentage of people.
Globalism, the corporate globalist, like Alex Jones has said. That's it's funny. Alex Jones is about to be sued for like $2.75 trillion.
Yeah, I think he was tripping on that. He shouldn't be sued for that much, but he was tripping on that Sandy Hook shit. I ain't gonna front.
But aren't you allowed to be tripping though? That's kind of it's so weird. Like, can a nigga trip anymore?
I feel you, but okay, where do you draw the line with the tripping? Where
should you?
I don't know.
How do you draw any line? Like that's the power of the free speech argument. Because beyond like obscenity, like pornographic things and then threats of violence and calls to violence, I don't know how to draw a line.
Well, shout out to I don't know how to draw a line either, but shout out to Royce J. He says BGS Itmore explained what's happening with white supremacy years ago. I mean, okay, a question that I kind of want to ask him, because he's talking about all the racial mix. He basically saying they want more admixture. They want to blend it in like that. He's saying, I think he said something along the lines of that's why gentrification is happening, because they're trying to promote more admixture. And I'm like, they're spending billions, if not trillions, of dollars gentrifying and all of that.
Well,
that's a pretty expensive. They don't have to go on $1 billion campaign to get us to knock up some white women. I mean, hell, they had to say hello.
Well, put it like this, and this is why I kind of supported Kanye in his wild, crazy rant the other day. Because, and this is also tying into my problem with the people who pound on the white supremacy drum all the time, right? Like, yeah, there are probably people who want America to be less white, but it's silly to think white people want America to be less white. So it now leaves the question of who benefits, right? Cui bono? And that's when you start to get conspiratorial. And I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole for you, but this is why I just reject the common analysis of white supremacy.
Mm-hmm. Nate, you're saying, all right, okay. I'm throwing Nate and SKC. I don't know if I necessarily want an army of people up here yet. Nate saying he could explain what's happening right there with the ad mixture. I think that's what he's talking about. And cut it out, Wayman Case. No, I think BGS is no. I'll drop it. I'll drop it in the chat room. SKC and Little Big Nate. SKC and Little Big Nate. All right. So yeah. Come on up. But all right. So I'll play a little. Pogs is my weakness. I'll play a little bit. We'll play some more of this. But yeah, it is an interesting thing with the whole. I would say roughly half of white people don't give a damn. Half of white people don't give a damn that America is getting less white. I would damn near say better than half. I would say better than half. And definitely the people pulling the strings and the levers they're not demonstrating that they give a fuck. They're not demonstrating that they truly give a fuck. Which is that brings me to a place where I say, okay, well, how racist is this country really? It does bring me to that place.
Doing those things, they've certainly done worse. This is Hutu Radio. But it's not an independent radio station in an African country. It's part of one of the biggest news organizations in the world. So it's not just whites, it's white women. Their women are bad too. And women, of course, are the key to reproducing the white race, which is clearly a threat, as she says again and again, to you and your family. They're dangerous. They want to hurt you. Now, don't be fooled by the fact that Tiffany Cross can barely speak a coherent sentence. She was a communications major, apparently, according to the internet. That didn't work.
So what do we do here? So you see how it took.
All right. So that's enough for us to riff off here. Roland Martin goes into a little more rambling and giving his take and his perspective on that. But
what are we supposed to do? He didn't say anything. He didn't do anything. Like, he points out her racism. And he's like, you see this racist cracker? Like, hold up. What just happened?
Like, that's more or less what happened. She said some, okay. She said some stuff that's racist, but that's how it's always been, Chris Rock can get on stage and say some shit about white people that George Carlin, as controversial as he was, he could never say about black people. That's how it is. That's how it's always been. The minority can take a shit on the majority, but the majority can't punch down. That's how it has always been. But so hold on, I got you, Nate. But so Tucker, so you're right, Hood Servant. I think I said it earlier that she said some things that are racist, and he's basically calling Tucker Carlson racist for pointing out that she said some stuff that was racist. That's the weird dynamic there. That's a weird dynamic. But Bill Blur don't even say nothing that racist to me. No, but anyway, all right. So we joined by Little Big Nate. Well, so far we got 15 contributors. Thank you everybody who support the stream, like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Make sure you subscribe to Hood Servant if you're not subscribed to him already. Appreciate everybody in the building. Hit the like button, but go ahead, Little Big Nate. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Hey, gentlemen, what's up, Conservative? All right, just what you were talking about. When it comes to that community of people, No one can make jokes about them except them. Let me point this out. Sacha Baron Cohen, Borat. In the Borat movie, there are horrible things said about that community of people. He is one of those people. The only people that can mock those people are those people in movies and in comedy. Seinfeld could make jokes about that. Eddie Murphy can't. No one is allowed to. And let me show you. Michael Jackson, They Don't Care About Us. Jew me, sue me, kick me, kike me had to come out of the song. He wasn't allowed to be in there. And that's Michael fucking Jackson. Most
Well,
powerful
Little
pop
Big
star in the
Nate.
world.
Could I remind some people of something? Because you mentioned Borat, and this is
Yes,
something
sir.
that didn't actually make the actual movie.
Uh-oh, what
Because
happened? I don't
I
know.
think it was too much. But you can look this up on YouTube right now. I'm gonna replace the J word with dude, right? Because I don't want to trigger anything. But there's a song that it was a whole bit where he goes into like this country bar with a bunch of white folk. He gets up, that's Borat, right? He's like, I like to sing a song for my country. He's like, throw the dude down the well so
Oh
my
my
country can be free. And then by the end of the song, he had the people clapping along.
Oh
They had
my
him singing
God.
back. Well, it was like the best thing ever. I
I
watch
gotta
that
see
every
that.
now and then for a
I
laugh,
gotta
bro.
see that.
Listen,
Email that shit to me, dog.
yeah,
Email
I'll
that shit
find
to
a
me,
way to get
please.
it to you. Yeah, because
Please.
it's hilarious, bro. It's on YouTube. I promise you. Type it up. I replaced the word with dude, right? So
Okay,
just type it out properly. Throw the dude down the well, and Borat or whatever, and it'll pop up, bro. That was probably the funniest thing, and it didn't make the movie.
Oh, I gotta check. But dude, the movie is insane against those people. I mean, just go watch Borat and look for the instances of what anyone else doing that would be called anti-Semitism. Half of the movie is anti-Semitism. I'm dead serious. Go watch Borat. But they are the only people that can joke about that group of people. I just want to point that out. Now, let me give you, it's not my explanation. It's from some people that have helped make me the man I am. I've attributed the man I am to men like Patrick J. Buchanan, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Tony Brown, Walter Williams, and others, okay? Black and white conservative men primarily.
You're probably the first person on earth that ever said I contribute the man, the
Patrick
man I
J.
am.
Buchanan.
No. There's people who say they contribute that to Patrick Buchanan, but they normally don't also contribute it to Farrakhan. Farrakhan
They're
and Pat
more alike
Buchanan.
than you, bro. They're more alike than you can imagine. I'm telling you, dog. I wouldn't be surprised if they talk behind the scenes. Real shit. I mean, they're both, very up in age now, but yeah, dog. Nigga, I've been following these two men since I was in my late teens. I'm dead serious. Now,
All right.
based on the people I've listened to, including Alex Jones, conservative, what's going on is, like Hood said, a satanic globalist elite. And you can call me a tinfoil hat, whatever. And they know that the majority of industrialized white world believes in family. They believe in home ownership. They believe in the desire for low taxes and to want to keep most of their money. This is after the fall of communist and socialist regimes all over the world. This is primarily what most industrialized white countries believe in. The family, most believe in Orthodox Christianity. Around, the area of Russia, it's largely Muslim, but Orthodox. White America, Christian, gun owning, family. What the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and others have said is they are using the masses of darker people to invade these primarily white, highly successful and industrialized countries to topple them. There are towns over the past 10 years in Germany that are now 75% North African.
When you
Switzerland.
say they are, okay.
They, the globalist elite, are trying to destroy successful, industrialized white countries because they're the most powerful, minus the Asian countries. Right?
So when you say the global elite, you are talking about those
a small cabal of
those. Are you hold on? Are you essentially talking about those? Are you essentially talking about those that we don't speak of?
No, not just them, but
okay,
many of them are them. Yes.
Okay, but so why? Okay, so if it's not just them,
I'm going to explain it. I'm getting into it. Why? I'm getting into the why. They literally at Davos, they talk about reducing the world's population by 90%. Now, the people who celebrate these globalist elite, the Luciferian left and Democrats primarily, and other socialist regimes, they don't realize that the 90% includes them too. It's the ultimate play of Marxism. Okay? You have the elite using the proletariat and the bourgeoisie against the lower class. Okay? So you bring all these brown people into America to destroy what's been built. It's been built by all people, but just for the sake of argument, it's Christian white nationalist thought that helps keep America what it is. All right? Not white nationalists in the sense of racism, but just nationalist white people in regards to how they feel about America. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And the same white people occupy countries throughout Europe, Germany, Sweden, Poland, these other countries. You flood these countries with North Africans, with Africans. You flood America with the darker people from South America. You collapse these countries. And primarily, they're already in control of the darker people through the IMF, the WHO, NATO. So they get to destroy all these quote unquote successful white countries with their weapons and their nuclear weapons, all under the threat, you better not be racist, when 70 in towns in Germany now are 75% North African. Imagine a completely foreign people. Germany is, I don't know, I'm sure 80, 90% Caucasian, right? So move into towns that are now 75% North African immigrant. Sweden, towns were 80% North African immigrant. Italy, Greece, towns that are 60, 70% now North African immigrant. And all under the threat of you better not be racist, you better not be racist. The elite's plan is to collapse these industrialized countries using the darker people, and they will be and they're already largely under the control of the darker people because of the IMF, other organizations like the International Monetary Fund that tell African countries, unless you accept LMNOP, you don't get the money. And then when they're ready to wipe out everybody because they've crushed all the countries with the money, the industry, and the weapons, they'll do whatever they want with these darker people, and they'll reduce the population by 90%. That's it. That is the simple plan of the global elites, and there is nobody who can come up here and argue with me that they have said in their white papers, we need to reduce the world by 90%. Boom! You got the whole fucking plan. That's what it is.
All right.
Now you can play all little big name. What? I'm telling you what the plan is. And if you think about it, it makes magnificent sense. They don't care about white people. The elites don't give a shit about the white guy next to me that owns a body shop, making $400,000 a year. They're not in alignment with each other. That successful white person is their biggest impediment because the successful white man wants guns and freedom. And you can't control the world when people have guns and freedom. Wake up. Wake up. Little Big Nate is the guy that said, fuck who you like and fuck who doesn't like you, nigga. I don't care if white people don't like me. I said that on your show on the first stream you brought me on as a guest, why I'm voting for Donald Trump. That's what I said. I said it a bunch of times too. I was like, why do you care if white people like you? I don't care. Don't get me wrong. I like being liked. So the white folks that like me, hey, I'm cool. Let's do business. Let me learn from you culturally or ethnically. Great. But if you don't like me because I'm black, I don't give a shit. You stay on your side of the street, I stay on mine, and there are no problems. You bring that dumb shit on my side of the street, we're going to have a problem. So stop worrying about white folks.
All right, well, hold on. Before we get far afield there, so I just want to make sure that we heard the reason. The reason being is because they want to reduce the population on Earth to they want to reduce
by
the population
90%. No, they want to this Bill. I believe Bill Gates pretty much said that at one of his
All right.
TED Talks.
All right, okay. So my question is, how does flooding more black and brown people into European countries reduce the population by
Bruh.
90%?
Whoa, bro. These people think in the terms of 100-year plans. You got to think in a 100-year plan. We break down all these successful, highly industrialized white countries with these immigrants. It causes race war in some instances. The elites ain't worried about it. They won't be anywhere near it. You'll have North Africans fighting Germans, North Africans fighting Italians in Greece. When the men of Greece are tired of their women being graped. Do you know what has happened with grape in Sweden? With North African men? And they don't look like us, most of them. They don't. But North African men, and I'm sure Hood Serta could tell you about grape in Sweden. The level of grape that's going on.
The world capital, I think. Certainly the European capital.
Yes. And this is all intended to build resentment.
These are basically Muslim, Middle Eastern looking men, right?
They're Muslim and other.
It's a mixture. It's a mixture.
Yeah. It's a mixture. But these men in Greece, in Italy, in Switzerland, grape is a tremendous problem. The men are becoming more and more angry. It will build resentment. There will be race war, which will reduce the population, Bernard. And then ultimately, after they collapse these white civilizations, okay, they already have primary control over most of the darker people through entities like the IMF and WHO. And then they'll just give everybody vaccines and everybody will die. These guys think in 100-year terms, Bernard. They don't think, oh, what am I going to do next year? They have 100, 200-year plans. So if you open your mind and think, that is the perfect way to reduce the world's population by 90%. You kill all the industrialized countries, primarily white, with weapons. Okay, you fill them with the North African immigrants, then just have them take a bunch of vaccines. And in 100 years, you'll reduce the world's population by 80, 60, 80%.
Okay,
you're on the way to winning.
This is my problem, or not even my problem, my question. These global elites that are in power, their power is connected to not just money. Well, I guess this is what I'm getting at.
Sure.
It sounds like what you're describing would bankrupt all the global economies. And with those global economies being bankrupt and brought to their
plan.
Okay, but I know, but how do the global elites, they benefit in their global? They have all this global economic power and ability to pull strings and influence because these economies work. Isn't that true?
Bernard, we're moving.
You're basically saying they're going to be. It's going to look like another Game of Thrones reference. They're going to be like Queen Daenerys burning Casterly Rock to the ground to be the king of the ashes. It's like, what do they own?
Hold on, real quick, Bernard. In Game of Thrones, they even had a bank there. Don't forget the Iron Bank, who always won. No matter who fought a war, the Iron Bank wins, and that's kind of what you're dealing with. That's the philosophy of it, right? Yeah, there will be massive war and starvation and chaos, but we win.
But Bernard, what you're not considering is that cash money is becoming obsolete.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I put something in your chat a few days ago. You were talking about the taxes and stuff. I said taxes are about to not even be an issue. Digital money, who cares about taxes? It's digital. You can produce whatever type of an amount of money you want. It's digital. So, and the elites want to do what? They want to get rid of cash because they can't control cash because people can put cash under their mattresses like they used to. And cash allows the small businessman to barter with his customer. That's why they want everything to be digital. Taxes don't even mean anything in a digital economy. And I'll say finally, these people don't care about money. They have a religion that they're working on. And look, you're going to think it's crazy. And not you, Bernard, but some people in chat going to think it's crazy. I don't care. Just come up and debate me if you think you can. If you think you can, come up here and I'll match your intellect with mine. We'll see what happens to you. Now, and you're going to think this is crazy, but if Hood has done his research, and I'm almost sure he has, these people are planning to download themselves into machines and shit. They know their bodies are finite. They're talking about, and they put this in their white papers. I'm sorry, they just do. I've read some of them. How they're trying to get to the point where they can upload their consciousness into computers so they will live forever. You can think it's kook stuff. This is what they're working on. This is what they know their bodies are going to be finite. Dick Cheney is alive for certain specific reasons. That man should have been dead decades ago with his health problems. But guys like that, he is a globalist elite. They live Soros, live into these ripe, old, insane ages that most people can't live. They have technologies that keep their bodies alive, and they're hoping to get to the point where they can download their consciousness. If one could download their consciousness.
Black Mirror. Oh, by the way, hold on. He says this sounds like a Netflix show. Yeah, that show is called Black Mirror.
Where do you think Black Mirror gets the ideas from? This is what these people are working on. This is what you can take it or leave it, but this is what these people are working on by their own words. By their own words. So when you say money, dude, money means nothing to these people, especially they're turning everything electronic and digital. They'll be with their IT and their technology. They'll be in control of everything that's considered money under digital money. The taxes won't mean anything if it's all digital. They can type whatever number they want in there, bruh. Come on. This is what's going on. Look, you ain't got to believe me. Nobody's got to believe me. But there's a reason this little guy with this little channel has had so much influence on this space. You could take it or leave it, dog. You could take it, not you, Bernard, but anybody trying to pop at me can take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. But I'm not saying what I'm representing is absolutely perfect, but I believe I've presented the most cogent argument of their overall plan. If you think, Bernard, everything I said in a way makes sense. It doesn't make logical sense because we're moral. It doesn't make sense to moral human beings who are sentient and care about other human beings. It makes perfect sense to the elites. Sorry, these people, and it's not just this latest iteration of the elites. 50, 100 years ago, they were planning World War I and World War II, talking about the maneuvers they would make, how many people they would kill, to get a control of these particular natural resources. This is how these people think. You got to understand and think how they think, if you're able to. Now, in closing, I'll say this. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in a speech said once, he said, he was driving down the street with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad saw an old, decrepit-looking white man. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad turned to the minister and said, "Brother, you cannot fathom the mind of Satan. Your mind does not work the way his mind works." And that was it. And the minister explained that you cannot understand the mind of someone who acts on the most evil of their thoughts and plan out hundreds of years into the future, just destroying and burning and pillaging whatever they will. All these wars have been planned since 1913, with the Fed and everything else, the CIA, the FBI, the NAACP, everything's made, around the Jekyll Island time. America has been in perpetual war. perpetual war. And it's made trillions, it's reduced populations. We've introduced all these wonderful vaccines and stuff. You take it or leave it, dog. But be careful if you come up here to challenge me, okay? But that's it. That's all. Just silly Nate talking.
Hood conservative, you got anything you want to add to that?
No, not really. I don't disagree with pretty much what he was saying. No, the thing is, it's sort of like one, it totally changes like the algorithm when you start talking about these kinds of things. So I as much as I know, I don't really talk about it that much. It's almost like talking about like, the people you're not supposed to talk about. There are things that when you start to go down this path, it just, it changes the conversation drastically.
And you can't win because you will be mocked, insulted, and disrespected. That's all that's going to happen to you. But a beautiful thing about this is more and more people are subscribing to these type of ideas because it's so evident. Like if you really like try to wake up and all you have to do is read what they write in their papers at these huge G8 and Davos conferences. Look at what they write. You don't have to believe me.
Well, I'll say this. It only took a couple of months from people saying, you know what, maybe we should start eating bugs as a source of protein, to now they're actually putting bugs in the diet in European countries. Like they're giving bugs to children and as part of like their lunches in certain schools, like as a test pilot program or whatever. And the point I'm making is that if you look at something like the World Economic Forum and they say that, this is what's going to happen, the shit happens. And nobody votes for these people. These are just a bunch of rich guys.
The elite are all on this climate change stuff, right? Check this out. They said that we need $100 trillion in carbon taxes. So now, all over the world, Greta Thunberg, I think is her name, that weird little girl that screams at people in front of the UN, that weird, odd little girl, yelling at grown men about what to do about the climate. Do you know what the Paris Accords would do to the United States economy? It would almost destroy it. Because you as a small businessman are going to have to jump through so many regulatory hoops in the name of the environment, you will not be able to start a small business. Hundreds of thousands of buildings will have to be retrofitted to meet the green standard. You won't be able to afford the filtration systems and everything you'll need for the green standard. You won't be able to start a business. This is a 100-year plan to just remove the ability to do anything as an independent, freedom-loving person with a family. Take it or leave it.
So is it that you don't accept at all that the climate is warming and humans have something to do with it? Do you not accept that premise at all?
Did the dinosaurs cause an ice age?
No, but they weren't driving cars and making power plants and putting carbon emissions into the atmosphere.
So the dinosaurs eventually made it hot.
But no, who?
No, the point is that the temperature goes up and down naturally, and it takes it's a huge leap to say that human beings are the only reason things get hotter or colder on the planet. And then not just that, the predictions of climate change. It used to be global warming. That used to be what we were afraid of, global warming, right? And then now it's climate change. Climate change can literally be described as the weather.
No, Hoop. First, it was global cooling. They were worried about. It was
the icebergs were supposed to melt.
Dude, it was cooling, warming, then changing. They have to do what works. Bernard, I'm telling you, these people are so evil. Like the minister said, you cannot fathom the mind of these people. Your mind does not work like theirs. So you're trying to make sense of, well, why would somebody do that? Why would somebody kill 100 million people? Why would somebody collapse? You know how George Soros made his money, Bernard?
Tell me.
By manipulating currencies and collapsing economies all over the world. That's how he became a multi-billionaire. Some suspect trillionaire. He collapses economies and manipulates currencies all over the world. That's
All right.
how
Well,
this man became wealthy.
Yeah, before we get far afield with that, okay, this is where I'm at on global warming. The research I did, and hearing the scientific breakdown of it. Yes, the climate, it changes, it fluctuates, it goes up and down, but there's a huge uptake. There's a huge uptake that is connected with human industrialization and all the technology and everything that we're doing. There's a huge uptake in that. My issue with it is that the things that they're saying we need to do to stop it, a lot of that shit, it does fall into what Lil Big Nate is saying. It's not practical. It would be sending us back to Little House on the Prairie. It's like, no, that ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen.
Did you see
so my thing is that if this is a problem that needs to be fixed, then okay, the same you use the advancements of science, technology, and all of the stuff that you got to do, and produce cars that don't fuck up the atmosphere. Do that. Don't try to put it on Jim Bob to turn off lights more or whatever the fuck like that. That's where it turns into something stupid. Where they
let me ask you something, Bernard. Okay, I'm an auto damage appraiser. My life for the last 20 years has been automotive. Okay, I in order to get my iCar Platinum certifications, I had to become proficient in EV, electric vehicles. All right.
Okay.
Now, tell me what happens, with the freedom of a what is it called? A naturally aspirated V8. You can hop in your car, you put some gasoline in it, you can go anywhere you want, which means freedom. With an electric vehicle, heavily tied into a electronic grid, which it will be soon, when the elites are ready to end your ability to travel, they'll cut the car off, Bernard.
They do that to your Tesla.
Cut the fucking car off.
Your
and
Tesla
you will
will
not
stop.
be able to drive it.
So, I've been hearing rumors that like if you're like a day late on your Tesla payment, the car don't move no more.
Oh shit,
bruh! It's about control. There's no control, bruh. Back in the 80s and 90s, small buy here, pay here places, there was this revolutionary technology that would allow them to install a chip into the steering column, where if the bill wasn't paid, the car would be inoperable. That was the introduction. They have to wean you off your freedom. A naturally aspirated engine is freedom. You put the gasoline necessary in it, you travel. Now, an electric vehicle, they can cut it off whenever they want to, once the vehicles get to the point where they're in these massive centralized hubs. They just turn the car off and you can't run it.
Yeah, that's fucked up, and I get that. But don't you think that this is an element of it as well? Okay, y'all agree that the climate, it goes up and down. There's fluctuations in it, but right now it's fluctuating higher on the hotter end. Okay. If there's ways to fix it, but to fix
weather?
that, it will call to.
The weather.
If it's a difference between weather and climate. Climate is
How?
I can explain. No, I can explain that easy. Weather is how cold it is outside right now. Like I walk outside, how cold it is. That's the weather. The climate, we're talking about just the overall total, the globe for over a period of time. So weather.
So what, micro versus macro?
Yes. Okay. That's probably the best way to look at it. So all right. So if the overall climate is going up, and they crunch the numbers and they figure out that okay, human activity has a lot to do with why it's going up. In order to fix that, a lot of the major companies that are doing things that causing it to fluctuate up higher than normal, they would either have to change how they do things or practically fucking die.
All right. How about,
All right,
let me
hold
just add something.
on.
All right.
Instead of bankrupting these companies that the world depend on, that everybody depends on, instead of all of that, essentially dying or being forced to die, damn near. Isn't it more likely, since we in conspiracy talking about with not conspiracy land, but if we talking about what the global elites are doing, isn't it more likely that they're saying, we don't want to change. We got billion and trillion dollar cash cows here. We don't want to change this shit for the climate. It's probably better to pay off to fund the politicians. We fund them. They use that money to run their ads, their campaigns. They get elected. They stay in power. But you have to shit on the whole idea of global warming and that humans are causing it. Isn't that also likely something that's going on as well?
Maybe
like the automotive industries that's like, hell no, we won't go with this electric shit. We're not killing our $1 trillion cash cow, but we're going to pay these Republican politicians a bunch of money to speak against global warming,
California,
so we can maintain our shit.
California just made gas cars illegal for like the year, like, I don't know, 2030 or something.
Is it 2028, 2035, something like that?
In a few short years, it will be illegal to sell a gasoline vehicle in California. And so ultimately, you're dealing with a different kind of beast here. I don't think it's just a matter of the corporations say, oh, I'm going to pay that tax. Like, no, I think something else is going on here. I mean, and, this is another conspiratorial rabbit hole, but have you ever Googled the water-based engines? Like the idea,
guy that made it that was murdered.
The idea that they could just make better technology to solve all these problems. I mean, who's to say that that's what they want to do? Maybe they want to make you to force you. Right. Maybe they want to force you into a situation they control. It creates a lot of like dark questions that people are uncomfortable going down those rabbit holes, and that's why I said I don't really talk about it that much, but I know a lot about it.
I think this is a lot of it too. If America and all of our bleeding heartness is trying to lead the charge in doing this stuff, but everybody else in the world is doing whatever the fuck they want to do, our economies will change or maybe come down some, but they shit will still be thriving. But if they still polluting the planet over there, it's a damn globe. Whatever they do over there, it's going to make it over here. So we're going to be trying to be goody two shoes over here and fucking up our economy while their economies are thriving, and then now we won't be as big of a world. That will make us not as big of a world power. So it's politics in it. But at its core, I think all this shit that human beings is doing is fucking up the climate. I accept that.
Well, look what you just said about.
Hold on, real quick. It's just so much politics in the shit to where they can't come up with a solution to it. But
how come nobody forcing Chinese businesses?
Bullshit though. But hold on, the politics is getting you to drink the Kool-Aid and believe it, Bernard.
Thank you.
People have shown the things, right, where they talk about the claims of climate change or whatever. There's been no trending change in climate change from here to 30 years ago, ever since they was talking about the ozone layer and all this other stuff. Bro, as time goes along, like literally the ice cap melting and all the stuff they tell you about that stuff, but they don't.
Wait a minute, from 30 years ago, you're talking 1992.
The climate.
That's 1992.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. They've been talking climate. Yes, talking climate change since then, Bernard.
So, let me give 30 years. The fluctuations that goes up and down. These are 30-year fluctuations. I mean, so you say, oh, it ain't changed since 92. What's the difference? Compare? No. But what happens? Hold on, real quick. What happens when you compare the difference from 1992 to 1982? It got to be a damn difference.
Can I chime in real quick?
It's like the globe itself goes in circles, man. You have like certain things, and it's not just the Earth. You're talking about the Earth's position in the universe and all these things. So it's far, far more complex. But they try to simplify it to make you feel like, you know, it's something going on. It's not. Bro, the Earth naturally gets hot and gets colder depending on where it is, how far it is from the sun, depending on where it is, you know, in rotational and all this different stuff, bro. This climate change shit is not real, fam. It's just not. Okay. Over time, everything is going to fucking, you know, degrade, right? Everything. Like eventually, our sun is going to fucking burn up, become a fucking supernova, whatever, implode, and
5
then
billion
kill the
years from now.
fucking. Yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying. So what they're trying to do, and they're trying to tell you, like, it's, bro, the point of this getting to where they're saying from humans do not make enough of an impact on the earth to change it at the degree they claim we're changing it. Carbon, you know, the whole universe is based off carbon. So even this whole carbon being a bad thing is a lie in itself. You know, back in the prehistoric ages and shit, right? My bad, go ahead.
No, if I could just say this real quick, gentlemen. All you have to do, and I know there's people in chat saying, hey, can we get off this environmental thing? It's up to the host. The host dictates how the conversation goes. But all you gentlemen have to do, and I swear to God, fantastic, I hope you've watched this movie. Nigga, you could do 10 streams about this fucking nightmare of a movie. An Inconvenient Truth, Al Gore, 2006. The World is About to End Because of the Environment and Climate Change movie, where almost everything he said in the next 10 to 20 years has been proven wrong. The Antarctica is getting bigger. Antarctica is getting bigger. He said it would shrink and all the penguins and there'd be no more polar bears. There's more polar bears than ever. Literally. More polar bears than ever now.
I knew Al Gore even back then. I was watching it. I was like, he's kind of overselling this shit. So I wasn't feeling what Al Gore was doing. I wasn't picking up what Al Gore was laying down.
He got let me just finish. Whoa, let me finish. If I could finish real quick. Didn't he get the Nobel Peace Prize for this piece of shit movie? I think he got the Nobel Peace Prize for this garbage, and it's nothing but lies. He said by 2013 that the oceans would be so much larger because of the melting of Antarctica and blah, 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 and there'd be no polar bears. I'm telling you, each one of you gentlemen, I don't know how many of you watched it, go watch this horrible movie.
This is my first time hearing Antarctica has gotten bigger. I knew all of his.
Alex Jones showed it.
I think by now he was saying, he was damn near saying by now, or at least close to now, maybe 2030, New York was going to be under the sea. Like he was going that extreme with it, and I was like, nah, bro. But it was my understanding. And I guess I'll go back to the drawing board and do some research on this shit, because again, this ain't nothing that I look up every day. But when I did take the time to look it up, the information that I found, it does seem to be
fine, bro. They front loaded.
I understand.
You got to dig a little deeper, man. I'm telling you, it's all a big scam. It's all a big.
If I could just say this in closing,
this
real
is
quick,
amazing.
I'll be quiet. I promise. There's some brothers that put together some photos of Ellis Island. You know where the Statue of Liberty is. Over like 100 years, the water level at Ellis Island has not changed. The water almost comes up to the same place it did like almost 100 years ago. They're lying. You cannot trust these people. They put Greta Thunberg, this weird little girl, up there. Everything they do is to fuck with your emotions. Every single thing. If I get you emotionally invested in climate, in race, in sexism, whatever I can get you emotionally invested in, I can take your eye off the ball and I could maneuver you like a puppeteer. Go.
All right.
Man, this is amazing.
Real quick, Trey.
What's going on? All right.
Real quick, Trey. I just looked up. Is Antarctica getting bigger? It says we often hear about polar ice melting due to global warming, but one Antarctic ice shelf has grown in the last 20 years. New research has found scientists say that changing wind and sea patterns have led to the eastern Antarctic peninsula ice sheet to expand since the 21st century. So,
I don't lie, nigga. Man. I don't lie.
It says one Antarctic ice shelf has grown in the last 20 years. I don't know what it means by one Antarctic ice shelf.
I'll tell you, Bernard.
How many shelves is it?
There aren't shelves, bro. I mean, we're sitting. I mean, just gonna tell you, man, you're streaming straight to Patreon. Even if Patreon will let you keep this up, we might as well start talking about mud floods, resets, Tartaria, and giants right now, bro. We're talking about Antarctica. Let's get into the ice wall, man. What polar, man? We can't go down there. Nobody can go down past 80 degrees south. All these countries, all these lizards done signed this treaty. The Treaty in Antarctica since 1958. NASA came around. We can't go down there. Nobody.
Trey, are you trying to smuggle in some flat Earth shit?
I didn't say anything. I said, look.
I know flat Earth talk when I hear it.
Hey, try to go. Hey, but here's the deal. Is there a treaty in Antarctica? Can anybody go past 80 degrees south? No.
All right.
Yeah, but that's the thing, man.
Wait, no, Trey, hold on. Let me push pause. I was willing to say that because global warming is not something I'm not that invested in it, because like I said, I don't think it's on the people to solve that.
Yeah.
If it's a big problem, the big people need to figure the shit out. That so I'm not even worried about it. It's like so if we're all going, if they're telling us we're all going to die, then okay.
That's predictive programming, Bernard.
Hold on, wait, stop. Let me just make my point.
Okay, my bad.
If we're all going to die, that's what y'all telling us. Okay, I'm not about to panic over. That's like telling me an asteroid is coming. I don't have the ability to stop the asteroid from coming. But you higher ups with all the money, power, technology could figure out some deep impact Armageddon mission and figure the shit out. It ain't my job to figure the shit out. So,
well, Bernard,
if y'all telling me we're all going to die due to global warming, that ain't my job to figure that out. Figure the shit out and let me know what you figured out when you're done. I ain't about to worry about it. So that's probably why I just heard about it, looked it up. I was like, okay, the climate is getting hotter. Okay, and then pushed it over there. And I haven't done that much research about it since. Whenever I hear people talking about it, everybody who talks about it sounds kind of hand wavy and conspiratorial in it. So I just cast it aside to, I ain't fucking with it. Whatever.
Well, Bernard, people don't have to talk about global warming. Here's the reason why, and all these catastrophes is because it's in the movies. You got movies like Don't Look Up, every single asteroid movie that's about to hit the Earth. They're talking about we're shooting asteroids with nuclear bombs on the mainstream fake news, all that stuff. And I mean, how many movies you got? Movies going back to Planet of the Apes, where Charlton Heston finds the Statue of Liberty and realizes he's always been on Earth. It's in the movies, man. It's in the news. It used to be in the newspapers. Now it's on the internet. That's all they need to do. They don't need people running around talking about it. That's their predictive programming. And then all you have, if you mix that in with all this made up race stuff, you mix it in with, terrorists, North Africans are going to rape your daughters. All that does is create fear. And then they come back on top of it with the predictive programming in the movies and the news. That's all they need, man. They keep you shook, and then they keep making all the money at the top.
All right. Let me read some super chats, man. Y'all done took this somewhere. Okay.
It's all of a sudden Tinfoil Tuesday.
Yeah, but okay. Tucker Carlson. Y'all remember him? We was talking about Rogish the Bill Mugger says, doesn't Tucker Carlson have the right to connect to whiteness in the intensity of cultish fever that sector expresses towards non-white juxtaposition? Sure. Native Arraign in the building says big money, but nah, don't call me big money. I ain't there yet. But Captain Cisco in the building says, ask Little Big Nate, what do the global elite think about Elon Musk's plan to colonize Mars?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know what to think about Elon Musk yet. I'm be honest with you.
Controlled opposition.
You think
there
so?
you go. Facts.
Facts. Okay. Let me finish.
He's one of the good lizards, man. He's one of the good lizards.
Okay. Okay. Again, I'm not. I've gone deep enough. This might have to go to Patreon, but I don't know what to think about Elon Musk. I'm just gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't lie to niggas. That's why niggas rock with me. I don't lie to them. All right. I tell you the truth as I know it, and I can defend what I believe. I'm not sure what to think about Elon Musk yet.
All right.
Well, Elon Musk admitted to being, my bad.
No, I was just about to say, I think the science dork in me, I like the idea of colonizing Mars. I just want to see people pull it off. I don't want to fucking go there, but I just want to see people pull it off. I don't think there's no big thing with that. I just think that, it's people like Carl Sagan was talking about, human beings being a multi-planet species. This was back in the 80s. He was talking about that. So from a science fiction standpoint, it's fun. That's all I look at that as.
Are we gonna colonize Mars and skip right past the moon? I mean, since we're fully going rabbit hole, like
the technology we
right by the moon.
That technology we lost, that NASA says we lost. I'm just saying though.
Is your reptile talk trade David Icke-ish? Is that where you get your reptile talk?
Hey, it's not me, man. I just repeat what I hear NASA say, bro.
David Icke lizards. Are these David Icke lizards?
No. Hey, NASA said it, bro, not me. I'm just going off exactly what NASA said themselves.
All right, hold on, yeah. I want to get to City of Truth real quick. Hold on. So let me get through the super chats. Blackjack in the building. He says, "Y'all on point, especially hydro car info. This is necessary talk for us as a people." Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. And shout out to my man Jay Freeman Blackman, always coming through hard and heavy-handed with the $50 super chat. Says it's about control. They have technology that is out right now that can grab CO2 out of the air and make the fuel we use today. Climate has always changed. That's where I'm at with it. I'm not all the way at where you're at with it, even though what you're saying about they can grab CO2 out the air, that's interesting. My thing is, if it's a big deal, then I put together teams of scientists all the time that figure important shit out. God damn it, go figure it. God damn it, if it's a problem, go figure it out. The regular folks need not even think about it.
How does giving a bunch of pedo potbelly globalist elites $100 trillion gonna solve the climate problem? Please, somebody tell me this shit.
I don't know how they solve it. I don't know what the price tag is.
No, they said 100 trillion.
It's easy. One thing.
They said 100 trillion.
Easy. Hold on. I'm saying, if they say it's a problem, then goddamn it, go fix it. Now I see your point. You're saying they're saying it's a problem. We need X to fix the problem. Okay, somebody got background noise.
It's not me.
Hold on. City of Truth, I'm gonna mute you. Okay, I think it may have been you. All right. So I understand your point now, Nate. They're saying it's a problem. We need X to fix the problem. That X is a metric fuck ton of resources that's going to drain or put a strain on other shit. But they're going to have it to hoard for themselves for whatever fuck shit they're doing for a problem that isn't even a problem. I understand you.
Well, Bernard and Nate, here's the thing, man. I'm not of the David Icke-ish, whatever his name is. I'm just at the point now where I realize, the crowd I run with, we know they lied to us about everything. So climate change, missions to Mars, all this stuff. Why wouldn't they lie about that too? If you can look at my icon, why wouldn't they lie about that? And I know that's one thing that hurts cats in the feelings. It hurts everybody in the feelings to realize that, okay, the dude that wrote the Emancipation Proclamation, they probably lied about him too. Because
what are you saying? Right? Whoa, time out. What's going on there? Explain your profile picture here.
Yeah, so when you go in actual written books that were written pre-Rockefeller, Rockefeller education system, every description of Honest Abe is that motherfucker black as hell. From his own writings, he said straight up, I'm afraid if I go back home to Illinois, the racial problem has gotten so bad they might lynch me. A white man wrote a news clipping saying
that can be interpreted many ways, that he may get lynched because of what he did to fix the racial problem. That can be interpreted that way.
Yeah, it can be interpreted any kind of way, Bernard, because we'll never know, because that's how convoluted.
Where's the picture? Okay. Hold on, wait, time out. The most important question. That nigga on the right. Where'd you get that picture of that nigga from, and who the hell is he?
There you go. Where did I get the picture on the left from? Same place. I just go look it up.
Okay, so you're saying it's somewhere where you could look up original actual pictures of Abraham Lincoln, and
who knows, bro? Who knows what's real?
No,
That's what
you
I'm
don't
saying.
get to say who knows. If you're trying to tell us that's Abraham, if you're trying to tell us
I don't know.
Abraham
I don't know
Lincoln
what's
is
true.
right there looking like Sammy Davis Jr., God damn it, you need to substantiate that claim.
But you know what, Bernard? I could shoot you emails and daggone. I got all kinds of books that show every description of him pre-freaking Rockefeller is black as hell. Every single one, including his own descriptions of himself.
Okay, so but what I'm saying is, so is that picture? Was that picture taken, and is it said to be him, or is that just an interpretation of what he probably looked like?
Here's the thing.
Said to be him, and he's also the only president on currency that's not silver based and turned the opposite way of everybody else. Just saying.
Ooh,
copper colored, bro. And how were we described before all this race shit came along? We were described as ruddy. We were described as swarthy. We were described as copper colored. Bro, I'm just saying. It's in the books, man. The picture
anymore. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Bye.
All
See
right.
Yeah.
You out of here. You out of here, Nate.
And that's the thing.
No, I'm
Hey,
scared.
here's the thing.
After you started this, Nate, you started this
you
whole
brought it up,
thing.
Nate.
We
You
supposed
brought
to
the
be
wab it
talking
out, bro.
about black women.
I'm
We supposed to be
sorry.
doing a regular
didn't mean
man
to.
fish
Wab it
show
out.
about black women.
SKC was like, no, don't bring the rabbit out. Don't bring him out.
Sorry,
But here's
man.
the
I
deal.
apologize. I'm sorry.
I tell pro blacks all the time, I am way pro blacker than y'all by 1,000,000. Because here's the deal. Fuck this bullshit telling little black kids that, oh, white this, whitewash that. No, tell them the truth. Tell them about Anthony Johnson. Tell them about Antoine Dubuc-Clay. Tell little black girls about Dilsey Pope. Tell them that we was running this shit. Tell them about Sherrod Bryant. Why not? And here's the thing. The folks I just mentioned, yeah, we can pull them up. It's not even in question like Honest Abe is. But no, we can't tell little black boys and girls that. We got to tell them, ooh, slaves. Ooh, Tucker Carlson's the big, bad, racist man. Tell them the truth.
Well,
tell them their ancestors.
I don't want to hear
Listen to
you denying.
Hotep the NBD up here.
I was just about to say, Trey, I don't want to hear you denying white supremacy anymore. You clearly,
man, what white supremacy? The white supremacy, bro, is lizard supremacy. There is no white supremacy. That's made up by the lizards too, bro.
And also,
Trey, real talk, Trey. Trey, hold on, real quick. Hold on, Nate.
Yeah,
Trey, don't forget to do it. I want you to send me whatever source material you got that proves that Abraham Lincoln.
Not proves, bro. I can't prove it, bro. I never do that with history, man. So much has been lied to. I will never say for definitive sure any of this shit is real, bro.
All right. We'll all right. Just send me.
For all we know, we're living in
Bernard,
a simulation
hold on.
like the Matrix, man.
How about this? I'll meet you halfway, Bernard, and I will send you links to certain YouTube channels that have very well sourced, and I do mean like actual textbooks, or not textbooks, but documents and books written of the time that will contradict what we all think we know about early American history. I can show you some links, and it's not as far-fetched as Trey kind of makes it sound right now. But like there are some things going on that would shock you to know.
And also, real quick, speaking of what Trey said about the first black president or whatever, the elites had to give you Barack Obama as your first black president because the things he was going to do for the LMNOP, and all you got to do is Google the name Larry Sinclair and watch what he said at the National Press Club to see why he was going to be your first black president. Larry Sinclair. Look it up.
All right. Jay Freeman, hold on real quick.
Oh, my bad.
I do want to go to City of Truth, but real quick. Jay Freeman, Black Men in the Building, he said the people that talk about climate change and ocean rising also bought beachfront property. Very interesting. The Clue channel in the building. I'm gonna say Ku Klux Klan. The Clue channel in the building. We gonna be bringing them. We about to find out real soon that they were all actually black. But anyway.
Oh, you don't want to go. Hey, you don't want the truth about the Klan, Bernard.
Right,
you don't want the truth about the Klan.
Let me read my
Klan is number feds today. Stop.
Shout out
I'm talking about the original purpose of the Klan.
The Clue channel in the building says, "Not this shit again." Yeah, I feel you, Clue. And Brother Xavier in the building says, "Don't worry about gas, brothers. We can convert your car to propane for $5K, $3K."
I might have to holler at you about that, dog. For real.
All right. So getting back into it. City of Truth as I double check real quick, make sure I don't got no cash apps because I always forget the cash apps. But we're gonna go to City of Truth in the building. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic. Go ahead.
Yeah, but Bernard, I was doing some research, and they're saying that the NBA, like in the next 5 to 10 years, they're saying that they're considering banning slam dunks because they say that when players dunk, it uses more energy than if they were just to do a layup. So they say
The
they want to
fuck
get rid
out
of
of here.
slam dunks
Stop.
because
Stop.
it's causing
Slam
global
dunks
warming.
create carbon. They create
Are
carbon.
you?
and
What kind of
destroy
energy
Earth.
you talking about?
And it's racist.
Wait, brothers,
It's racist too.
brothers,
Alley-oops
hold
are
on,
racist.
Yes.
hold on. That was a joke. That was a joke.
Okay. You know,
Nice.
the way they changing the game in football, you know, I was like, okay, it is an argument. Never mind. Fuck it. Okay, go ahead. That was a joke. Carry on.
Oh no, seriously. That's really all I had to say. I just came in there just to say that.
You just came up to troll us real quick. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So
We
Not
hey,
to
so
troll.
let's-
I just came up to just a little comic relief since we was on the global warming subject. So I was like, okay, why not?
hey, let's take it back to racism though. Let's take it back to racism in the Klan.
I would say, just hop on the little Elon Musk talk, and I'll hop out. Control opposition is a thing. This is why I tell people like Donald Trump, control opposition. All of these, there's no elections, there's selections. Everybody's not all the way down with the program. You know, some people do want to, survive. You know, because what Lil Big Nate said, a lot of stuff he said is accurate. You think that people wouldn't, be self-destructive or whatever, but what you don't realize is very, very, I think 3% of the people own over 90% of the wealth in the world. You know
Queen
what I'm saying?
Elizabeth
So
owned how much of the land of the world?
yeah.
The elites, man. The lizards.
Yeah, so when you start talking at that level, it's really a whole nother level of planning. Quigley told you in that book, he's that's one of the best. Tragedy and Hope is probably one of the best things to tell you, and all this stuff is mapped out. And then the modern version of that would be, of course, the Great Reset. They told you all of this stuff that's happening. Everything that they told you was going to happen. Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum, they told you what's going to happen, and it's happening. So, like, digital currency is coming. You should not want any type of electrical vehicle because, like Lil Big Nate said, that's control. Gas, you can put gas in your car. You can go wherever you want to go when you want to go there, as long as you have gas. But if you put your shit on the electrical,
real quick note on that, because Game Changer live in California, and for save on gas and a number of other reasons, he did get one of those electric cars, but he said he's keeping his gas car in the garage, and particularly if he got to go, so if you're going to be driving somewhere real far, that's his car that he take on his long trips. But just driving around California, yeah, he got his.
The craziest part about it,
electric car
is California can't even, their grid isn't stable enough for them to be able to handle that.
Exactly.
Just I think 2 weeks ago,
that's the plan.
Just a month ago, they told people to where not only they told them they couldn't do it, but if you tried to charge your car, it would pull so much power from the grid, they'd be able to tell, and they would shut it off, and where you wouldn't be able to do it anyway. So
that's the plan. Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm the king. I'm nigga 10-4 Tuesdays. I know what the hell going on. You gotta tell me, brother. I'm with you. I know what's up.
Hey, we gotta do it. We gotta do a stream. Me and you are fantastic, man. Ooh.
Yeah, man.
Fantastic. I know you just got back. You're getting reacclimated, been going live and everything. But is Tinfoil Tuesday officially back rolling?
Not yet. I got a couple of topics, man. I got some deep topics. I wanna when I put it out there, I want it to be good, man. So I'm doing a lot of research, and this first one's gonna be a banger, bro. So trust me.
I know.
When you ready for the wabbit,
real quick, Trey. I know. I don't do the conspiracy theory stuff, but I don't knock it. So the Tinfoil Tuesday, Mr. Fantastic. Yeah, I go there. That's if y'all get your conspiracy theory stuff. I typically don't do it. So he's the Black Manosphere hub for conspiracy theories. Tinfoil Tuesday. So make sure y'all check it out when you get that back rolling. But go ahead, Trey.
Now I was gonna say, when you're ready for the wabbit, let me know, Fantastic, because I make SKC run when the wabbit comes out.
Oh shit, you make SKC run, man. You's a wild boy. You wild, man.
Yeah. I only go so far with the wabbit. I only go so far, but I can also get incredibly deep too. But
Yeah,
you just
it
gotta be
gets
real careful
ugly.
with the shit.
You know, the whole, that's what I say. Let's take it back to the racism. You know, when SKC, I didn't even flesh out the stuff about the Klan. That was SKC and Hoodservative that fleshed out one of the original, you know, missions of the Klan was to pull niggas out the crib when they was beating up on their queen too much. The queens had the Klan on speed dial.
Yeah,
And this is no cap.
They were like the guardian angels.
Yeah.
They were the guardian angels of the late 1800s. Yeah.
If that was true, we would have saw the Klan pull up on Mr. in color purple.
Oh, but no, the white man can't be a hero. Spielberg can't make the white man a hero like that. No.
Hey, the funny thing was, Bernard, the book they pulled it out of was written by a queen. It was firsthand knowledge of a sister.
They've been running to Mr. Charlie. They've been running.
All right, man, we out of here. Hoodservative, man. You got any final words for us?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. We done went down a dark alley, and I'm gonna stop talking now.
Yeah. Let's quit while we behind. I was about to say quit when we ahead. Let's quit while we
Right.
behind today. But all right, I'd like to thank everybody who like, share, subscribe, doing anything to support the stream. Shout out Prophet of Thought Clue channel, Jay Freeman Blackman coming through heavy-handed, Blackjack, Captain Cisco, a Native of Rain, Roguish the Build Monger, SKC. Oh yeah, that bullshit ass comment. Okay, Dead Set Anime, Cold Steel, Christian Hutchinson, last one left Hayes, Jay, a story to tell, Hoop Jargon, Tris Thompson, High Value. Oh yeah, High Value Donor. Wow, that's just a made up one for the day. Wizard Kelly, the funniest name of the day. Christian Hutchinson again. Wizard Kelly. Shout out to everybody, and shout out to Michael Ray Carmichael. I'm fucking up your name. I'm sorry. Ray
I just
Carmichael.
want to say one thing too, Bernard, when you get a second.
Yes, go ahead. Shout out to Perry.
To all the brothers upset in the chat, I apologize to Brother Bernard for taking the stream off, Tucker Carlson and stuff. But my apologies. But if you want more crazy, off the chain, Nightmare on Elm Street, throat slitting, Texas Chainsaw Massacre conservatism, you got to subscribe to the Little Big Nate show.
Time on, Nate. I happened to cross a video where somebody clipped something that you said to a gentleman.
What is that?
Something that you said about a gentleman when you were going in, when you were what Angry Man called unleashing the gate, opening the gates of hell on somebody.
That's what Angry Man said about me.
You told somebody that you would take, I think you said
deuce in their mouth. Yeah.
No. It was worse than that. It was worse than that. This one, I think you said you would take a metal rod or something and rip their rib cage open.
Okay.
And then bend down, squat, and take a shit on their still beating heart. I was like,
I'll take a shit. Oh, I hate liberals so much. Shout out to Sub-Zero. We hate liberals so much. These are the things I imagine doing to people that want to come touch people's children. These are the things I imagine doing to people that want to put little boys in dresses and give 11-year-old girls double mastectomies and hysterectomies because they say they want to be boys. 11-year-old girls are getting this. I want to crack their chest open, take a shit on their still beating hearts. Yes, sir.
You need to do something with that. Nate Mare on Elm Street.
Nate Mare on Elm Street. All right, yes.
You gotta do something with that.
Bruh, there's so much shit coming from the Little Big Nate show. I've got redpillapparelstore.com coming with all my phrases on shirts. World War whore. All sorts of crazy shit is coming from the Little Big Nate show. This tiny little channel that put on the Manosphere meetup. This tiny little channel that does what it does. You got to subscribe. You got to come through. I'll be broadcasting today around 5:30. Come through and see. It's Political Saturday, and I'm going to murder some. I'm going to red rum some liberals. That's what I'm going to do.
All right. So we getting up out of here. Thank you, everybody. We are out of here. Peace. We are gone.